What is up, everybody? Welcome to Media Rehab. It's episode 9. I'm your host, Cameron. I'm sitting here, as always, with Matt.
Mufasa had it coming.
Dan.
Hello.
Hey, you British fuck. And sitting in for Darren this episode, we've got Craig.
Sorry.
Craigory.
Yeah, it's always a damn shame whenever you decide to poke your head around.
You got the bottom of the barrel, and then you have, like, the ant colony that's living under that bottle, and then you have the dog shit sitting right next to that. So
I'm higher than that still.
good to have you on the show.
You are like the afterbirth of termites.
So I'm a Jew?
Oh.
Hey, don't offend our listeners. My mother will be so disappointed to hear that.
Sorry, the three of you.
Brilliant.
So, Matt, what's on the docket today?
Just kind of sticking to status quo. We're going right into Geektox, and the first thing I want to talk about is DC's been coming out with a lot of new shows and shit, packaging out some cool stuff. Arrow seems to be doing pretty well, even though sometimes it's hokey as fuck, and then other times it's actually pretty good. But we just saw a preview for the Flash TV show that's coming out, and they're going to merge the two. Merge the two universes together, and they're going to have Arrow actually in that series. And
yeah, because they started the Flash on Arrow as kind of like a backdoor pilot.
I hope it's as good as the old Flash they had on Sci-Fi. That was a great show.
it was okay, man. It was entertaining, but it looks a lot like they're going to kind of stick to the art styling that they did with that show that you love, Smallville.
Yeah,
Smallville was a great show.
They're gonna keep it going with the teen angst like they usually do on the CW.
Gotta catch him young.
And yeah,
He's not a cop, though. He's like a criminal investigator or something, like a CSI team guy or something. He's not a cop.
No, this is it's not the Wally West version.
It's not gonna be like Dawson's
It's Barry
Creek
Allen.
with
Yeah.
It's Barry Allen. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot more of the angst and the why was this given to me instead of just Wally West being off the wall
He
like
gets
he usually
nailed
was.
with a bolt of lightning, and then he wakes up out of a coma 9 months later to that weird dude from all those shows I hate. I forget his name. He's got glasses and hair. So I know I'm narrowing down the field to everyone, but
exactly. The only thing I can think of is the guy who was on Person of Interest in Lost.
I forget where the fuck that guy's from, but I've seen him in a lot of other things, and when I see him again, I'll remember who he was. But then they're like, he's just kind of messing around. He's like, my hand is shaking really fast. And
Wasn't
all of a
he
sudden,
also in Tombstone?
the guy with glasses and hair? Could have been. But the only thing that I didn't like out of the preview that I saw so far is that his speed looks so gay.
Oh, they have him doing the same effect that they did for Tom Welling in Smallville when he was the Blur.
Blue Red Blur?
Yeah, the Blue Red Blur before he could
Stupid
fly.
ass name.
I preferred the old Sci-Fi Flash when they had like just the super pan of everything moving by him super fast.
Oh yeah.
Like the running speed.
Well, they do
speed
have a
point.
cool effect going on, is that at first he thinks that everything is slowing down, but he's just moving so fast that he doesn't realize that everything that's slow around him is slow because he's moving that fast. The other thing that I really liked is that they're going to do the yellow lightning bolts coming off of him as he's running. So as he's in his suit with his top speed, they're going to have the yellow electricity and the red flash because they kind of introduced the suit as the means for him to be able to run fast. That's exactly who it is.
It's Tom Cavanaugh, the guy from Love Monkey, and what was it? There was another show.
As well.
Yeah, he was in
Scrubs. Hey, little brother.
Yep.
No, yeah, that's exactly where I know him from. I hate that show.
Yeah, it's great to see that Tom Cavanaugh crawled out of whatever hole he was in and actually got some kind of work.
It was
What
Zach
her name
Braff's
is.
asshole.
He's playing a character that kind of correlates to John Barrowman's character on Arrow. He's going to be the head of Star Labs, but he's going to be the one that brings in these villains because he wants to capture the Flash and use him as a bad guy. Is what I think is going to end up happening.
I think he's supposed to be his mentor because he was mentoring him in the beginning because he's the guy who had him with the.
That's exactly what John Barrowman did in Arrow, and then John Barrowman, it was revealed that he's the head of the League of Assassins. Spoiler alert for season 2 if anybody hasn't seen it.
Nobody
Who cares about spoiler alerts?
Yeah, Rochambeau rules, man.
Yeah, I know, right? You get me later.
The other thing that I saw that was coming out that everybody kind of has mixed reviews about is that they're also coming out with the pre-Batman storyline of Gotham, It's going to follow Jim Gordon, and they actually did a pretty good job casting Jim Gordon. But they're going to have Jim Gordon and his partner running around. He's going to help solve the Bruce Wayne's family's murders, Thomas Wayne and his mom. Then they're going to introduce some of the villains, like one of the CSI techs is Edward Nygma, and they're going to have a young Penguin, and they're going to do other kinds of things. It's going to be weird.
I'm
It's
not
gonna be
going to
cool.
judge it till I see it.
The young Penguin, he works for Fish Mooney, who's a reimagining of the character from the old Detective Comics novels. Who,
Well, that's cool.
yeah. But they've casted, I think it was Jada Pinkett Smith. So they made it into a female.
How's he doing?
No, it's that young, swarmy-looking kid with the... He kind of looks like...
No. Fish Mooney is being played by Jada
She's
Pinkett
divorced,
Smith, I
looking for
believe.
work.
I thought you were talking about Penguin.
Yeah, no, and Penguin, yeah, they couldn't have picked a better person for Penguin. How would you feel to be his agent? Hey, my guy's got a big nose. He could totally do that role.
Look,
It was up between him and Andy Samberg.
fuck DeVito, the best Penguin is Burgess Meredith.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because you know what? The Penguin needed to be
pizzazz.
campy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Danny DeVito, they tried doing the whole dark thing with him. And
Don't get me wrong, DeVito was an awesome Penguin.
He did a good job in the
But how many
movies, yeah.
penguins are there? There aren't that many.
Oh, no. You know
It's a
what?
hard role to fill.
Philip Seymour Hoffman would have made a fantastic Penguin in the Nolan verse.
I think so.
I
That's
think he
actually
would've
pretty
too.
good casting. Yeah, I
That
like
would
that.
have been good.
I think now he would
Hell,
play a good Ra's al Ghul pre-Lazarus Pit.
Well, and you know what? If Nolan wanted to come back and do another Batman movie, now you can get the guy who played Capote in the other Truman Capote movie. The one who was in Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Oh,
as
you're
Arnim
talking
Zola.
about you're talking about Armin Zola, the guy, that weird-looking little short guy.
Yeah,
Like,
he'd be a great Penguin. But back to Gotham, I'm super excited for this show. Actually, I wanted to temper my expectations until I saw the trailer, and then once I saw it, it's great to see Donald Logue get work because Terriers was unfairly canceled, and I loved him in Grounded for Life. You know, he's a very good actor, and he never really gets a
I like
chance
that show.
to stick on a show.
I think this is a show that, with DC kind of taking the silver screen as opposed to the movie aspects of things, I think this is the right direction for them. Instead of competing on the movie front, let's compete on the silver screen where more people are going to have more access to our regular viewing. Also, you two couldn't be more gay.
I mean, when you look at DC's TV offerings, they've had Superman, they've got Green Arrow, and they've got the Flash right now.
And Marvel's not doing too well.
Marvel's
on
got
TV.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents
and
for S.H.I.E.L.D. is a flop.
the
I
last
despise
couple
it.
of episodes, what they did is they changed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when Captain America got released
Okay,
to
cool.
being S.H.I.E.L.D.'s broken up, and now Agent Coulson knows that he's a life model decoy, and he's running a new splinter group of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents handpicked by Nick Fury to work against the government that's been infiltrated by Hydra. So the last couple of episodes of that
For a
kind of
simpleton
rebounded.
fan,
Hail Hydra!
there.
And now they've got Agent Carter coming to TV. That's going to be on in place of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in between seasons. So now you're going to get the modern day S.H.I.E.L.D., and then you're going to get the upstart of
Throwback,
S.H.I.E.L.D. with Peggy Carter from the original Captain
But we
America.
already know they're going to kill Tony Stark's dad in a car crash because they fucking spoiled it in their goddamn movie.
Well, I think this is going to be post Howard Stark's death.
No,
He's casted in the show.
He's already cast.
And then
It's going to be done.
So be it. We all
He
know
will
that.
die.
We all
Like
know
the
that
first
Howard
episode
Stark
of 6
dies.
Feet Under. He's going to die in a car accident.
Yeah, but you know what?
Live on as a
It's
ghost.
got to be done. And the
They
majority
could
of the
do
time,
it for 20 seasons and then not kill the guy, and you're waiting every season for them to kill the guy, and they just don't.
and because Agent Carter is, I think they could kill him in the first episode. The way that they're going to kill the Waynes in the first episode of Gotham, and the entire series is going to be trying to figure out who killed him.
Now, let me get this. Now, the Gotham series. Mm-hmm. So the Waynes die. Is this while Wayne's away?
No, he's a little boy. This is the introduction to
No,
Batman.
he's like
Child.
8 or 9 years
Who do
old.
they have cast in as young, distraught Wayne?
It's some
child
kid
actor.
that looks exactly like the comic book drawings of Bruce Wayne
He's got
as a
that
kid.
long, shaggy kind of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have a scene in the preview where they have his parents laying dead on the ground, and he's crouched down on his knees. He's like, look really good, man. It's a pretty good cast.
And then they've cast a girl to play Catwoman to be just about the same age as Bruce Wayne. And you have Pamela Isley, who becomes Poison Ivy. She's about the same age. Edward Nygma's about 15 years older, like he would be in the comics.
That's cool as Complex ages around his villains. That's
Exactly.
pretty-
So you know what? You can tie these guys down for 8-10 years
As
if
long
Fox
as they don't
gives
make
it
it a
that long.
Dawson's Creek with superpowers.
Yeah.
Because I love Smallville, but that's basically what
I
it
think
was.
this is
There
just
are
gonna
no
be
superpowers.
This is just going to be a cop drama, basically, and you're going to
Strength
use.
is a superpower.
It's no superpowers, man. This is pre Bane Gotham. So this is before the Batman influence. This is before the villains start showing up in elaborate costumes and shit.
CSI
It's just
Gotham.
time.
Do you remember? Do you remember
Yeah,
the
it's what it is.
show?
Semen everywhere.
Do you remember the show Vegas?
Yeah.
It was out with Michael Chiklis and Dennis Quaid.
That was a great show.
This is going to be kind of what it's like. It's going to be the Gotham police force working against the mafia that runs Gotham City, and occasionally, you're going to have the Freak of the Week show up, whether it be Fish Mooney trying to start a superpowered
Starting
army.
off a series like that is ingenious because by season 4 or 5, you could bring in the Batman
Yes.
and then change the. You
Yeah.
can change the entire series.
Season
base.
4, you could say that Bruce Wayne has gone missing, and Season 4 is all looking for it, but we know he's going to train with the League of Assassins.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
he could come
man.
back.
Go
Ra's
through
al Ghul
that,
can
if
show
you go
up.
through that comic watcher though.
Yeah.
But we've been watching a lot of shows on just kind of sitting down and going through the blitzes and just watching shows back to back and going. And I got you to watch True Detective a couple of weeks ago, and it's a show with Matthew McConaughey and all right.
The reconnaissance is real.
And Woody Harrelson.
with Jodie Foster.
And it starts off pretty fast, and it kind of has a low moment in the first episode, but it ends up captivating you by the end of that episode, and you are just hooked. You cannot turn away. I was up until 5 in the morning, the time I was binge watching it, and Cameron comes out. He's like, "Are you still awake?" And we're like, "Yeah, this is the last episode. Last 10 minutes. Go back to bed." Leave me alone.
Yeah, but then I sat down a couple of days later because I had a day off, and I ended up watching the entire series in one day.
Is that good?
It was only 8 episodes, but
Hour long each, so it's 8 hours.
yeah. But I just sat there and I was just enthralled, and I learned a lot about product placement: Lone Star Beer, Camel Blues, and Jameson Irish Whiskey.
In almost every single scene. And that's because they had such a low budget for the movie, and they ended up having to do product placement to afford McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. But you notice it, but it's not like it's overwhelming.
It's not in your face. Like, he's sitting there talking to the cops, and there's a Lone Star Beer with the label facing towards you.
And he's smoking only Camel Blues. And
Or
Well, you
later
see that
on in the
almost
show,
every television show.
yeah, this is
Roseanne
way
did
in your
it-
face.
Roseanne did it even with Budweiser and cornflakes.
and so like McConaughey's working in a bar in the present day, and he's poured is Jameson Irish Whiskey for everybody, with the label pointing out to the camera, so you
All
know
they serve is
exactly
Lone
what it
Star
is.
beer.
But
Great drinking game for the show.
I know what a Jameson bottle looks like just from seeing it.
Hey, Byron.
Terrible bar. They only have Jameson.
Just for your knowledge, when I say Byron on the show, you have to take a drink. That's what's going on.
You son of a bitch.
Even those at home.
Just so you guys know, I don't drink. I'm drinking. What's
Vagina.
it? Grass shots.
But the cinematography in that show was awesome. The camera lighting, the textures to the show were really well done on HD. The overall feel of the show was very suspenseful the whole time, and they fuck you so bad because in the 3rd episode they put the fucking guy right in front of your face, and you have no fucking clue till you see him in like episode 7, and they reveal the killer. You'd be like, "Oh, that motherfucker!"
God damn it. You are the Yellow King, you son of a bitch!
I find myself doing that when I used to watch Dexter. I would be like,
You! And you get a feel like the guy's weird when you run into him, but you don't think anything about it because they put him right in front of your face and you don't think anything about it. And he's right there, and it's so creepy when he's talking. It's so obvious that it's him, but you have no idea because you're looking in all these other places, and they're currently chasing the guy who they think is the killer, and he is one of the killers, but there's like a troop of them, and it's like being covered up by this family that's been in Louisiana for a long time, and they're these really like grotesque like child. They don't do a lot with like they don't put the killings in front of your face like a cop drama usually
You
does.
just see the aftermath. And you don't even really see the aftermath.
It's all pictures, but they don't really zoom up on the pictures.
Yeah. Like, one of the greatest scenes was when they were confronting a guy about the past in the Yellow King. Yeah, they're like, you've hid him for so long. We want you to see what he's actually done. And so they took him on a boat and they popped in a VHS tape of the sacrifice of one of the victims.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, this spans from like 1995 to 2013.
Oh wow, okay,
and
cool.
it does time
There's
jumping.
3 timelines.
And so
VHS, what's that?
So like they're showing him a VHS of the human sacrifice that they did, and the guy's like, "Why are you showing this to me?" No. And he absolutely freaks out.
Everybody screams.
And you know what? I do believe, and I'm just going to put this out there, I think that these limited series, the way that True Detective was only 8 episodes and the way that American Horror Story does it, I think it's the future of television. Because now we've got people so outraged about TV shows being canceled. Surviving Jack, Community.
That's a travesty. Surviving
Enlisted,
Jack.
And now you can do these self-contained storylines for each season, the way that American Horror Story does. They don't have to sign these people to big contracts, $250K an episode. They can just go ahead and be like, all right, we want you around for one season. The season's going to be 10 episodes. You act your ass off. You might be able to get some more work from it. Everything is a standalone storyline. And I'm really starting to like that because you get the beginning, the middle, and the end. You're not getting a cliffhanger leading you into the next season.
There's no gimmicks. It's all good story writing.
And if a network doesn't want to bring you back for a second season, you've wrapped everything up and you haven't left fans with unanswered questions.
Yeah. Nice, neat little bow.
I was watching some trailers of new TV shows that were coming out, and there's one coming on Fox. It's called Whispering Pines. And
Whispering Eye.
Just think about it as Twin Peaks, starring Matt Dillon from There's Something About Mary and Terrence Howard.
I like Matt Dillon. Great teeth.
Yeah. But like he gets into an accident and he ends up in this city called Whispering Pines, and there's a bunch of weird shit going on like Stepford style. It's only going to be on for 10 episodes. It's a one-season, one-off thing.
A one-hit wonder show.
But Terrence Howard's the sheriff of the town. And he's like I need to find the person I'm looking for, and Terrence Howard's like, oh, I don't care. She's probably dead. But then they pull back at the end of the trailer, and it turns out the entire city's walled off. So there's some weird shit going on. And if you like Twin Peaks, then you'll probably like that show.
What show I didn't like that we gave a shot? We gave it 2.5 episodes, and we watched Game of Thrones for the first time, and it wasn't good.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
I gotta
good,
hear
bro.
your counter argument because I love Game of Thrones. Between the titties and rape and violence.
See, rape is my button. I don't do rape. I don't like that
Well,
shit.
you don't do rape, but you can watch it.
No, you can't. It's
Just pretend you're in LA.
It's shitty, subpar story writing that doesn't need to occur. You can write around it. It's just put in the show for shock and awe.
Yeah, they're just going for the shock value with it.
It's a lot of rape.
It's an incredible amount
It's like
of rape.
watching some old Japanese anime.
It's like black sails on rape steroids.
Like the first episode, they
Black Sails, don't even start on that
The first
rape.
episode, they try to kill a kid right in front of you, and it's like, all right, I'll give you a second episode. You're trying to draw people in for your second episode, make sure the ratings are high, and then they tried to kill the kid again.
And then they raped a chick.
Yeah.
Have you watched the show with the kid? The kid should die.
No, not that kid.
I'd root for that. Oh no.
No, the Stark kid.
No, the youngest Stark, the one that was protected by the wolf when the assassin tried to come in and the wolf ripped his throat out.
Pretentious. It's overrated. The cinematography is not that good. There's pre-existing story material. If you really want to watch the show, just read the fucking.
Probably why I like it.
wanna
I'm pretentious and overrated.
I don't want to wait damn near 4 seasons to get the fucking dragons. Okay. She was given the dragon eggs as a wedding present. The dragon AIDS, yes, I said it.
Dragon AIDS.
So she was given the dragon eggs as a wedding present in the first episode, and now you're not going to see the dragons for 3 fucking years.
I have a problem with wieners. What about HBO?
And yeah, just the show just doesn't draw me in. I mean, I heard that the trial of Tyrion Lannister this past week, it was phenomenal acting by Peter Dinklage. So
Who is a great actor.
I'm going to give that one a watch. I'm going to give the Red Wedding a watch. If I see something pop up on social media or the TV blogs that I read and it says Game of Thrones was fantastic this week, yeah, I'll click on that episode. But when I see more Game of Thrones was meh than Game of Thrones was awesome, I know not to waste my time with
Think
it.
about every episode of every show you ever loved. There's always going to be a meh episode.
Yeah, but there's a lot of meh
There's
episodes.
a lot more meh to Game of Thrones than there is fantastic.
I shouldn't have to watch 5 episodes
like
for...
it. I'm telling you, it's a great show.
Don't bang the table.
Yeah, don't bang the table.
Yeah.
God.
What are you, Darren? Shut the fuck out of here.
I do what I want.
So show some decorum. Can we get some decorum in here?
I don't know what that word means. I watch Game of Thrones.
I'm sorry. Floppy wiener left, floppy wiener right, and now decorum. The decorum part would be don't
Dano,
show any more
your
floppy
thoughts on
wiener.
I have none.
You have no wiener. Yes, very good.
I have one, but
That should be your agenda.
My agenda is that I actually have a wiener.
he does a better British
All
accent.
I want for Christmas is a fucking dong. A fucking
All I
dong.
want for Christmas is an uncut dong.
No, no.
What about this Constantine show?
Basically, it's a adaptation of the comic book and not the movie starring Keanu Reeves.
Sad Keanu is sad.
It's based on the comic book by Image. It's called Hellblazer, and he's basically like a magician slash like exorcist of sorts who has like magical powers, and he goes out and he basically gets wrapped up in a bunch of this bullshit. But his job is that he goes out and he sells the services to people like stop cults or stop possessions or like try to find demons and shut them down. And he sold his soul to a demon, and so he's got lung cancer and they're gonna try to take his soul, but he sold his soul to another demon. So now he sold his soul to 2 demons, and when it's time for him to die, there's going to be a war in hell over his soul, so they won't let him die.
It's like Ghost Rider Inception.
Ghostception.
But I think this is playing off a particular storyline where he accidentally sacrificed a chick to hell, and then it's in the same process doomed himself to hell. So it's going to go off a little bit different on that storyline. But this show looks really good because the preview we saw was with he's like in a mental institution, and he put himself there because he just doesn't want to fucking deal with it anymore. And he does the shock therapy, doesn't care. He's just fucking there. He doesn't want to do his job anymore because what's the thing about Constantine is that once you can see the spiritual world, they can all see you, and they don't like to be seen. And so that they're fuck with them all the time. But it's because he's Constantine, it's because he goes through there and he's trying to exorcise these demons that they're all over his shit. So he's in the mental hospital, and there's a chick possessed by a demon. She's writing something in blood on the wall, and there's like roaches going everywhere. And he walks through and he's like, "Not my problem. I don't care because
I don't want to deal with it."
He's like, looks at her, she turns over with the possessed eyes. He's like, "You know what? No, not my deal." And he stops halfway down the room, and he's like, "Fuck it." And he just goes over there and exorcises the demon real quick. He
walks
shoots
over,
across
he goes,
the room.
He goes, "Bollocks. And shepherds we shall be."
Now, the Constantine, you have Goyer, Marshall, and Cerrone. Now, Goyer did his work on the Dark Knight trilogy. You had Marshall, who did his work on Game of Thrones. You have Cerrone, who did a stint on Dexter.
Yes.
And those are 3, maybe not popular by all, but majority popular.
See, this show is going to be given
looking forward to it.
This show is going to be given a decent chance. You're going to get the Grimm lead in, and Grimm for being on Friday nights
Does pretty
gets
well.
a pretty good rating in the Friday night death slot. I originally saw that it was going to be on Friday nights, and I was just like, well, they just want to blow this off to get it over with.
Trivia. When did Constantine, the comic, get its start?
1993.
Is it?
No,
19
1985.
I was going to say 19.
His first appearance was in the Swamp Thing comic series.
Oh, yeah. As part of the, not the Inhumans, but I don't
great
remember
VHS,
what it was.
Swamp Thing versus the Inhumans was a great...
But they're working on Guillermo del Toro's kicking around doing the Dark Avengers, which is Swamp Thing, Constantine, and that's something that he's working on hopefully after Pacific
I think
Rim
a
2.
Swamp Thing movie would rock.
Nowadays it would, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pacific Rim 2.
If they do Pacific Rim 2.
Pacific Rim was awesome. Don't give me that face.
No, I was
Three sharks on acid.
It was great, but how can there be a second one? It ended.
Oh, no.
You can make it happen. We were shooting that idea.
Yeah,
right?
we were actually talking about that the other night.
Okay, the end of the...
You get 12 wires in a room. All right, you can make something happen.
I mean, how did that just doesn't... No.
It's like that's...
Okay,
what's that?
this was actually our theory about Pacific Rim 2. In the movie, Newt, played by Charlie Day, he had drifted with a kaiju brain, and that's how he saw how everything worked. Okay, well, think about this. When you're forcibly ripped from your drift, you still get visions of what you had seen from other places. So you set the movie, 5-10 years later, Earth is rebuilding, we're using the Jaegers to fight each other instead of soldiers for, global domination, whatever.
Yeah.
You can bring back Cherno Alpha, you can bring back Crimson Typhoon, you can bring back Gypsy Danger.
You can make new ones.
And Newt starts to see visions of the kaiju, and it starts driving him insane, so he starts building a way to bring them back.
Because he linked his brain with the aliens, and now they've got a piece
and
in
then
there.
Newt ends up being basically the unwilling villain of the entire movie. And you can have this big grand war where it's Jaeger fighting Jaeger for control of Europe or whatever, and then all of a sudden here comes a fucking kaiju out of nowhere. Whoa, wait! Let's all stop fighting each other. What the fuck is that?
Kaiju!
Kaiju sounds like a Saiyan Jew.
But then you can start bringing the kaijus back, and the end of the movie would be them figuring out that Newt was the reason. Then Newt sacrifices himself to close the rift, and that would be the end of Pacific Rim 2. And then you could do a 3 where you cross it over with Godzilla because they're owned by the exact same company.
See, now I don't have
my question.
I don't have to see the second one. I just heard the entire story.
I would love for that to be the actual story because I'll take fucking credit for that.
That's an actual good way to actually bring in the second movie.
Question about Constantine. What are you guys' feelings on Matt Ryan?
I think he's the embodiment of what John Constantine was drawn to be.
I loved him in Torchwood. That was a BBC show.
Oh yeah,
Torchwood would rocked. The Tudors.
I didn't get to watch Tudors.
I think that
Tudors was a great show. You'd love Tudors.
When you look at you look at his depiction in the show as opposed to the way he was drawn, that's exactly the way he was drawn. The red tie, the brown trench coat, no stupid ass black suit with the skinny tie. He's just a fucking dude who shows up in a cab, and that was supposed to be the whole thing. And then I thought
he looked like Trailblazer from Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
the tie, the trench coat.
Except
minus the long ass hair.
But there's another show that we were watching that I watched. I really enjoyed, and it's an anime, and it's called Attack on Titan. And Attack on Titan takes place in sort of medieval times, but basically humans found these giants, these big human beings, huge human beings.
They didn't find these giants. These giants came upon them.
No, they found them. They went to an island, they found them, and then they started coming onto the regular
manga
lands.
or are you doing series?
This is the series. The show is the series.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you don't spoil the series with the manga. What's cool is that they eat people, but they don't have to. And human beings have been restrained to this city that has 3 giant walls to keep them out. And the first episode is them breaking through the wall and the giants coming in and eating people and shit. And the only way to fight them is you have this 3D suspension device. It's kind of like a Spider-Man gimmick. And they zip around and they have to slice them in the nape of their neck to kill them. As you shoot them in the face with a cannon, they just get back up and reheal.
Any Harry Potter's fans, they disvaporate. They turn into just hot steam, and you can't even land on them because you'll fucking melt and burn your body.
So what's cool is that human beings have never won a battle with the giants, and the whole show, it's 12 or 14 episodes, is them basically fighting these giants. And I don't want to spoil the show too much, but what's really cool about the show is that just fucking grow no attachments to any characters because any of them could go.
If you've never seen it and you want to watch it, spoiler alert, don't ever get attached to a character.
Yeah,
that's exactly what Matt just said.
Don't ever do it because they all die. They don't all die, but my favorite ones
enough
die.
members of the Attack on Titan family?
Yeah, man, fucking just grow no attachment because they're just going to take them, and they're going to take them in the most vicious and horrible ways possible. And it's not even like some glorious death or anything for each character. They're like, nope, just snatched through the sky by a giant with his mouth.
The first episode sums that whole series up.
Oh yeah, no, I did watch the first episode.
The first episode is so dramatic, and you can't not stop watching. And I like the breaks they have in between it. It's a short show, but when they do their little candid break, they show you little facts about the show, so you can read up on it. If you pause your TV, if you have the money and means to do so,
Yeah,
You learn a lot about the show. You're like, oh, this is how their gears work. This is how they kill these things. And this is where they came from. And this is where they live. And this is how it happens.
So, we're going to go ahead and change subject a little bit, and I want to talk about the WWE and some of the stuff that's been going on over there, because there's been some interesting movements going on, some different kind of changes with the way the rosters have been working out.
Yeah, there's been some interesting movement. The stock is down 44% over the last 48 hours.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, see, they're back to March of last year's time period before they announced the WWE Network. Then the stock just soared through the roof because everybody's like, oh, cool, WWE Network. It's going to be like Netflix. Yeah, millions of people are going to be doing it. 600,000 subscribers later, and everybody's in full fucking panic mode. Vince McMahon shot his mouth off and said, yeah, well, our next TV deal is going to be 25% more money than it was before. 10% more money later, Vince looks like an idiot. Vince McMahon lost $350 million of his own personal fortune over the last 48 hours. I think it's fantastic.
I can't wait to see him wearing cheaper suits.
Yeah.
He's going to look a hobo clown.
A hobo clown.
The hobo clown is it Doink or is it Vince?
Yeah, exactly. It just depends on which one jobs.
Doink was a legend. Okay.
Evil clown. The evil clown is a legend.
He is. Well,
no.
Listeners don't know about the Ass Rape the Clown comic that I portray.
Well, what's really interesting about the WWE losing all this money and how the stock is tanking.
The stank.
Stank.
Hambo.
Roll the window up. You're letting the stank out.
But what's really interesting is how they're going to end up reacting. Now you've got Daniel Bryan out for a couple of months with a neck injury.
Till like SummerSlam, yeah.
John Cena, yes, he's still the number one merchandise mover, but nobody likes him.
Everybody hates him.
Right now you have no star power with CM Punk walking out.
Bray Wyatt's about the best thing they got going on right now.
And it's CM too early to hotshot him to the top.
It's a huge fan base.
Oh, yeah.
He ain't coming back, man. He's done.
Vince, out of desperation, is probably bringing CM Punk's phone off the hook right now.
Just like, please,
just out of desperation.
They're pushing we don't have.
They're pushing the rookies from last year. They're pushing the Shield. They're pushing Bray Wyatt, because what ended up happening is exactly
push the Shield. The Shield rocks.
We've been saying this for so long. It's exactly what's happening, is that old guard had that death clutch on their spots for the longest time. And what ends up happening is there's no new talent, no new stars, and there's no competitive brand, so people just stop fucking watching. Okay, and it's hard to get back somebody who was watching before who doesn't give a shit about your product now.
That's why they were so big in the early 90s and 2000s, is because they had so many characters.
But you have this old guard hanging on to their spots, like Triple H holds on their spot.
In the 90s,
trailer.
In the 90s, with the all the different stuff, there was competition. There was WCW. So if you're Hulk Hogan and you didn't like the way that you were going to be booked,
I always loved ECW.
You could just up and leave and go to WCW, and that allows the WWE to push another guy to the top, like Mankind or The Rock when they took him away from that Headhunters gimmick where he was Rocky Maivia.
Mankind was a legend.
They've been burying their new guys for so long that they don't have anybody to take that upper echelon spot anymore.
It's like watching reruns.
It's not watching reruns. You can't push a guy because you only have two title
I don't
contenders.
like watching wrestling that you can predict.
Yeah, you just had John Cena and Randy Orton over the last 5-10 years. That's it.
Give us somebody new.
Yeah.
They've tried, but these characters are so stifled because the other guys want so much television time that this could start to
hard to believe you see
wrestling.
so much overacting.
John Cena dominating his spot for the better side of 10 years has completely ruined their developmental program.
Here's the thing. You had a great character in Wade Barrett. When he came out of NXT the first season, and then they had that storyline where John Cena was forced to join the Nexus until that pay-per-view, and John Cena and the Nexus ran roughshod, and it was John Cena unwilling to actually do so. Then they had the pay-per-view where Cena and Wade Barrett wrestled, and if Cena won, then Wade Barrett would have to let him go, and if Wade Barrett won, then Cena would never be a champion again. What do? They beat Wade Barrett in 5 minutes.
They bury him.
You buried Wade Barrett, who had a huge amount of steam, and now he's finally starting to rebound.
you had a lot of
It took
guys
4 years for him
who
to do
had
that.
the ability to go out there and carry the strap. And now you really don't have anybody. You can't put the strap on Bray Wyatt. He's a character you created solely to not have the strap. It's a mystique thing.
Now, they've had lulls in the past, though.
This is a really bad lull.
What did they do in the past?
They threw a bunch of money at older guys to come back,
That's
and they
exactly
gave them a lot
what
of
they
power
did.
in
So
the
you're
company.
going to see a lot of shit like that, or you're going to see a lot
Hogan's
of diva
gonna be
time.
on. Hogan's
You're
going to be
gonna see a
on
lot of
Raw on
diva time.
Monday. Batista's going to be on Raw on
Sting
Monday.
is coming back.
Sting should come
purportedly.
back.
Maybe Kurt
Bring that
Angle's
black bat.
coming.
At this point, CM Punk's coming before Sting signs his contract.
Jimmy King!
They need to get Kurt Angle back, really. That would be probably the best move to get him
Kurt
back.
Angle tore his ACL, and he's out until October when his TNA contract expires.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of good moving forward for them. I think that they're going to do some more Randy Orton Kane shit. I mean, the last pay-per-view had Kane versus Daniel Bryan for the title, and you knew what it was going to be.
Wrestling will die.
It was a very
If they don't keep
very
up with it,
meh
wrestling
match.
will die.
It'll never be dead, but it'll never be the juggernaut.
It'll die
that it could have
enough
been.
to where they lose so much money they can't climb
And
back.
TNA's got production people walking out because they haven't been paid since March. You've got wrestlers from TNA calling other promotions about, hey, do you guys want to hire me?
AJ Styles wrestling for New Japan right now.
Yeah, AJ's going where the money is. Right now, the money's in Japan.
There's a lot of guys in New Japan right now that are way more entertaining than anybody on WWE. And nobody gets to watch it because it's not on primetime.
But the one good thing coming out of Triple H being in the position that he's in,
Water.
Triple H is giving the NXT talents a good footing to come up with their own thing.
And you're moving them faster into the fold.
Yeah.
So Bray Wyatt, seeing the success of the Shield and Bray Wyatt, now you got Adam Rose coming in. Now,
Don't be a lemon!
be a rosebud. You're also going to get a chance for the Ascension is probably going to move up
It's
soon.
party time!
All the time.
PRT. Why? Because we've got to.
I really see there's going to be a really good influx of tech because they got a lot of really good guys down there.
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn's getting buried though. For some reason they're burying him.
Sami Zayn went over with them when they went to the Middle East to do that bunch of stuff over in Saudi Arabia.
Because you can speak Arabic.
Oh yeah, they ate it up. They ate it up, and he moved so much merchandise over there that he can be used as a brand ambassador for Saudi Arabia. Because guess what? Saudi Arabian television contracts are up for renewal. What do? You move Sami Zayn up to the main roster so they have that guy to root for. The same way that they shoved the Great Khali down your throat for years so they could get more money in India. And the way that Sheamus is so they get more money in Ireland.
I've been saying this for a little while. I think the key to being really successful is to bring back the tag team titles like they're just as important as the world title. And that way, you could say, oh, we can have one half of the tag team champions facing off against the champion, and it could be a really good match. So, you get guys like the Ascension up. You take the Usos, you just refine them a little bit. You get guys like a Cesaro, who they're stifling. Okay,
Yeah.
And you take the guy Rusev, and you put them together like the new Iron Sheik, who is Cesaro, and the new Vladimir Kozlov, who would be Rusev. And you put them together, and you reform a tag team that happened way back when.
Oh,
and then you have these huge
Nikolai
battles.
Volkov.
Yeah, do I say?
Vladimir Kozlov.
Oh, Nikolai Volkov is what I meant to say.
That's I was just wondering.
No, yeah, I always fucked that up.
But yeah, it's a very trying time for wrestling right now. It's depressing, really. I mean, every episode of Raw is ending with a big beat down on faces.
It's crap, man.
And yeah,
It's the word. Let's sum up WWE lately is crap.
Yeah, it has been. Because guess what? Triple H
There was
wanted
a time
to reform
when I would
Evolution.
wrestle with my beanbag with buddies, and now it's just you just want to sit there and be like, where did
We
my
had
childhood
very
go?
different childhoods. We had hardcore matches in people's houses when their parents weren't home.
Trampolines, bro. I used to wrestle on trampolines.
Well, look at you and look at me. All
Right,
I
yeah.
can barely lift a gallon of milk.
And we used to smack each other in the faces with cookie sheets. So
I
that
used to
probably
get
explains a
bruises
lot.
with beanbags.
The another thing I wanted to talk about was Xbox has recently been unfolding a slew of just kind of interesting, weird things coming out. They have Halo 5 is announced to come out, and I think it's just a desperate cash grab to try to revitalize some of the shit they've had in the past because they're not doing really
They
well.
wish they were Grand Theft Auto doing the same shit
Oh, yeah.
making money.
It's not the same shit. The new studio, if you played Halo 4, I loved the Halo games, okay?
Yeah.
Halo Online 1 and 2 were awesome. You know, even on the store, the campaign mode for Halo 1 and 2 were really good. And then Halo 3 came out and I was like, nah.
You also have to look at what the next gen likes.
But here's the thing, is I played Halo 4, and we played the Spartan Ops because the story mode was so bad.
Yeah, you're not going to get a true Halo story on next gen for another couple of years. This is just rushing something out.
How much bullshit alien shit could you write? I mean, come on.
It should have ended a trilogy. It's
Yeah.
game mechanics. It's just playing the same game. So you want to play the same game on a new mechanical system with new graphics and stuff like that. The problem is
They made the right idea.
They made the aliens. They completely changed the Covenant. They made a new alien species, and it sucks to play because the AI is terrible. B, the abilities are overblown, and C, every time I try to kill one of the stupid fucking running dogs, I have to use a whole fucking clip of my gun to do it, and I'm hitting them, and I get to run right over that son of a bitch and get ammo back. So ammo is of no consequence.
Yeah, enemy balancing was always piss poor in Halo. You know, you could take the Covenant elites and you could kill them in 2 shots if they're well placed, but it takes you fucking 8 to kill a grunt.
Yeah, you gotta chase that son of a bitch around the corner. Demon!
Cameron just waved his arms flamboyantly.
Want to talk about flamboyant? I just caught you two cuddling over there a minute ago.
We're not cuddling.
He was cuddling
It's
me.
cold in this house. We were keeping warm.
You guys are
too.
very huddled together.
You
That's right.
pussies.
Hey, we're really close right now. Granted, we're sharing one mic. But
Rubbing
still,
I just
you
don't.
know.
I don't think 343 Studios was the perfect was the fit for Halo. They
Oh,
just
343 Guilty Spark, whatever it's called.
well,
Is
they
that
were created by
Speak
Microsoft
English.
Studios a while ago. I don't remember what their other catalog was, but I know that when you looked at, you can look at their gamography as to what they've done, and it's like, oh, Fusion Frenzy, a bunch of little mini games, and now Halo 4. They have to pick up the mantle from Bungie, and it should have ended at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they came out with Halo ODLC.
3 was weak too. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Halo ODLC.
Oh, let me play a game where I want to be the Master Chief and I want to do the same things I did in Halo, only I can't because I'm a fucking human being.
How many 14 and under are going to buy that and do that because they love that?
Everybody's going to beg their parents.
Nobody,
for an
because
Xbox
that was
One.
our generation that played Halo like that.
Say it again,
first
Cameron.
one, yeah.
The 14-year-olds are going to beg for an Xbox One.
It may be a shitty game, but it's marketing.
They're coming out with it so quickly that, yeah, they're doing it just to move consoles because they are a distant number 2 to Sony. Mm-hmm. And
way
with
distant
the other,
number 2.
With the other moves that Microsoft is making when it comes to trying to boost console sales, like removing the Kinect camera and charging you $100 less.
Told you so.
You have just matched Sony's price point. And they're still going to kick your ass because they got better shit coming out.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck. The graphics
And
on the
newer
PS4 are
concepts,
better.
To go with Matt
Yeah.
on this, Sony has newer concepts,
Yeah.
newer games,
Well,
newer ideas, newer storylines.
Did anybody realize this week that Microsoft announced that they're going to drop the paywall between you and Netflix?
No, I didn't know.
Previously on the Xbox 360, you had to pay for your Netflix subscription and you had to pay for Xbox Live Gold in order to watch it on
Which
your
is
console.
fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So now they've removed that paywall so you can watch HBO Go, Netflix, and Hulu. That only took them 7 years to do. Which
It's a
is
long
fucking
fucking
ridiculous.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
why,
Xbox Gold is fucking bullshit too because guess what? If you bought a PlayStation 4, you were able to rack up 12 months of PlayStation Plus without paying anything.
yeah. I bought my bundle for the PS4. I got a game, a year of PlayStation Plus, and an extra controller for $500.
And it wasn't a
Along with the
shitty
console.
game either.
No, I got to
Along
pick
with
the
the
game.
console?
Yeah.
That's a fucking deal.
And I got to pick the game, and it was fucking Battlefield 4 that I picked. Well, no, then I ended up doing buy one get one, and I got Killzone Shadowfall and
Killzone.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
All right.
That buy one get one free.
Redeemed.
I mean,
Battlefield 4, that dude's a fucking master, man. Like, you need to watch some of the crazy shit. that
oh
he
yeah,
pulls
no,
off in that game.
there was one map we were on. It was a throwback to one of the previous maps, and it was in the middle of a sandstorm. So naturally, I put on the sandstorm techno because I was listening to Jim Rome the day before and heard it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm running towards one of the checkpoints, and the screen goes gray, and it says heavy enemy presence ahead. Wait for reinforcements. Fuck this shit. And so I go sprinting forward. I'm like, if I'm gonna die with honor. I pull out my SMG. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Threw a grenade to kill number 7. I turned around and I fired a shot at number 8. Just as another teammate's coming up to mop up. I fucking annihilated 7 guys in the span of about 20 seconds on that game. And then
I'm sitting there watching it like, that didn't just fucking happen.
Everybody just kind of stopped what they were doing after they killed that 8th guy and we were securing, and they all just kind of looked at me, and I saw one guy do a quick head turn left and right like, no way, you did not just do this. And I saved it. I put the video up on the internet. It was fucking awesome.
But there's a E3 got leaked. They were going to do a bunch of E3 announcements, and you were telling me the other day, you were reading me all the leaked games and stuff.
Nobody's sure if it's real or not, but the list isn't too outrageous to where you would think it's fake. You know, it's not like they're saying, oh, well, Sony's going to announce The Last Guardian and all this other stuff. You know, stuff that's been bantered around for years.
The list really sounds like somebody in the upper echelon leaked that list.
I mean, I've got it written down here. If we look at it, Microsoft is expected to announce Fable Legends,
Awesome.
which is going to take place before the original Fable series. So it's going to be...
A prequel, huh?
Yeah. It's going to introduce you to the gods that they always speak of in the Fable series.
Yeah, I know that was.
Halo 5.
It's RPG on rails. I mean, I like Fable as much as the next guy, but it's RPG on rails.
No, the on rails portion was for Fable the Journey, the Connect only one where you that's the one that's on rails.
If you played the original Fable, it makes you follow on a rail. You don't get this world inspiring. You can go to the other areas, but you have to stay on the rails to progress storyline. There's no grinding.
That's the uniqueness of the game itself.
It's just another fucking hack and slash. You might as well pop in Devil May Cry
or Halo 5.
That's not on rails.
Well, and some more on the list was Halo 5, naturally, because they unveiled it last year. They're going to do a demo of what I'm calling House of CODs. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare starring Kevin Spacey, so it's House of Cards Season 4. I don't even need to watch Season 3 now, because I know exactly how it's going to end. Quantum Break, which is the game that was unveiled last year where you control time. So like you're
Is it Persia kinda or
no like you work for like the CIA or the NSA or something like that, and you can stop crimes as they're happening to save innocence.
Minority Report? Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much. But
sort of, but no Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And no Tom Cruise, thank God.
Yeah, no Tom Cruise.
Couldn't even play a fucking Tom Cruise game.
But a couple of them actually stood out to me that were very interesting. Number 1, Star Wars Battlefront 3.
That's pretty cool.
No, it's Battlefront 3.
Excited.
Yeah.
EA
Battlefront 2 was great.
EA's been sitting on that game for like 10 years. And now we're going to get number 3.
I still play with the kid. I still play
the game, right?
For Microsoft, the other one that really...
Play with his lightsaber. Come on, give me a break. It's been 8 years.
The other one that really stands out to me from Microsoft, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Believe it when I see it.
I mean, they've been talking about that since 2006.
Believe it when I see it.
I'll believe it when I see it. That kind of makes me skeptical about the entire thing.
I'll believe it when I see the release date.
Yeah.
I won't believe it if they program it at E3.
I won't believe it until I have the disc in my hand. You know, that's
fair, man.
Like Duke Nukem Forever. I was like, you know what? I'll believe it when I can go to the store.
You're telling me you won't believe it, but you'll go buy the game. Bring it home.
No, like
but you won't believe it until you take it out of the case.
I physically want it in my hand.
Okay, guys.
I've been jaded from the Duke Nukem Forever situation. 16 years to get that game out, and I was like, that game's not getting released.
Duke Nukem Time to Kill.
And I'm just like, I walked into a store one day, I saw it sitting there, and I'm like, cool, I'll do that. Whatever. It actually got released.
The original was so much better.
Way better.
Nintardo, as I'm calling them, Nintardo. They've got a pretty underwhelming lineup. It's stuff that we already know. It's Bayonetta 2. It's going to be a Wii U exclusive.
Yeah.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night 2.
Yeah, that's what we need. Another Castlevania game.
Well, we have great Castlevania fans. I enjoy Castlevania. Not really the game, but I do enjoy Castlevania soundtrack.
On Game Boy, when it was prevalent.
Regular Nintendo.
Did anybody realize that they're on Mario Kart 8 already?
No, I stopped playing Mario Kart when I learned to read.
And you've got Super Smash Bros. U that's coming out. That's been announced. They've been leaking characters left and right.
That's good. I love that game.
now you've got two of these here that I don't know what they're going to be. I mean, one's Legend of Zelda: Shard of Nightmares, which
It'll sell.
It's the next
It'll
gen
sell, just
Zelda
like Halo
games.
will sell,
Zelda.
just like Half the
'Cause
Crap will sell. But
there's
how
yet to
much
be-
shit can you do that's Zelda?
Well, there's yet
Give
to
it
be
a
a
rest.
Zelda game on the Wii U.
Triforce.
Skyward Sword was actually a decent game for the Wii.
Skyward Sword was great, but again, you're playing it going, I got bored halfway through.
and I think Nintendo's actually recycling another thing. There's another game that was on that list called Hyrule Warriors.
Hell yeah!
All right?
I didn't know that.
I think it's like a Smash Brothers
It's
with Zelda characters.
Zelda
so you get to
characters.
play as Link. You fucking Navi better be shooting fireballs out of her snatch.
That's cool.
And but yeah,
Jen Sandlin, name drop.
It's just something that it's weird how Nintendo can be so under. They're not even going to have an E3 press conference.
You want to talk about reprocessing shit and spitting it out for more money? That's all Nintendo's been doing
Oh,
since
yeah.
day one.
Oh, easily.
Mario and
Nintendo.
Sonic at the
Super
Olympic Winter
Nintendo.
Games.
Yeah.
3D
Super
Mario.
Nintendo spit out the
Paper
same
Mario.
exact games, just with
Mario
a different
Kart.
system and console.
Super Luigi Brothers and
Wario.
Yeah.
Dr. Mario.
yeah.
Just doing.
Waluigi #1.
And so let's hold off and let's get to the real important list here. PS4, Sony is going to steal the show again, like they did last year when they slapped Microsoft around when it came to the DRMs and all that. Number one, you're going to see some more Destiny gameplay, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah,
from
that does
Bungie.
look good, yeah.
It's
Is
an open
game
world
art.
Yeah.
open world first person RPG that's constantly connected on the internet, and you can
That's
have
an
random
RPG.
events drop in, and when these random events drop in, whoever's doing it with you all of a sudden shows up on your screen and you all team up to take down the bad guy.
It's like doing a World of Warcraft with guns. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's pretty.
I wish I
fucking
had a
badass.
grenade launcher for a dragon head. 10 times easier than
We've got
slapping with the same.
we've got
stupid
Drive
sword.
Club, which is their
Not a fan.
way of taking down Forza.
Yeah.
That's,
you
that's
got-
a hard beast to beat.
Yeah, it is.
You've got Gran Turismo, but that doesn't get released too
Gran
often.
Turismo never gets old.
But the thing is with Drive Club is that they're coming out with two versions of it. They're coming out with a disc version, and then they're coming out with what they call the PlayStation Plus version that's
Download
free. It's free to all PlayStation Plus users. So now you're building in a user base with it, and it's going to be for free.
good
And
marketing.
you can upgrade for like $20 to unlock every car and all that stuff. So instead of buying the $60 game, you pay for PlayStation Plus and you spend an extra $20, and you get the full game.
Yeah.
Great bargain.
Yeah, it is.
We've got the Order 1886, which is going to be awesome.
That looks really cool. Yeah,
It's
like-
Gears of War in the Victorian era with vampires and werewolves.
Now, what's the weapon base in this game? Because I've heard a lot of shit about this.
It's going to be like doing Hansel and Gretel on steroids with the weird
Yes.
weapons and like.
Oh, yeah?
yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Okay,
You remember
now
the
I can
game
get into
Dark
it.
Watch?
Yeah.
Where he was the outlaw
Yeah.
who became a vampire, and think of that
Very
weapon.
Constantine.
That was a great. That was
I
a great
believe
game.
that there's a weapon modification thing inside of that where you can like add things to your weapon. I was
Yeah.
reading about it, where it's like you have a crossbow, but it's a special kind of crossbow, and
It's
now you
got-
can equip different things to it to make it do different things.
It's
so
got
it's very
vampire
Resident
blood
Evil.
on the tips that immediately turns your enemies, and then they become your allies in that game. You know, it's stuff like that.
That's
and
pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
be really cool.
Skyrim did shit like that for a while.
I like it when there's those kind of first-person shooter adventure games give you the opportunity to play a different way. So, like, you're playing a game one way, and I'm playing it a completely different way because you're able to equip and change your weapons based on how you want to play.
There's so much customization available. And there's 3 more games on my list here for Sony. Number 1, Uncharted.
Great.
They finally gave it, according to this list, it has a sub-name. Uncharted: The Sunken Blade. Which makes sense if you look
Which is
back
the
at
name of
teaser
my
trailer.
wiener.
It makes sense if you look back at the trailer that
not a rape fan, but-
it involves
Sunken
it
Blade
involves
sounds pretty
looking for a pirate group based
You'll
off of
find out later,
Madagascar. Which I'm just excited to see Uncharted on a next-gen console. I think it's going to look great.
Yeah.
And
Uncharted's a great game.
God of War 4.
That'll be awesome.
God of War has never lulled.
No.
I don't know how they're going to continue it after the
Yeah.
events of God of War 3, but
That'll be a previous.
I would-
That'll be next show.
I would love to see Kratos taking on like the different gods now. Now that you've taken on the Greek gods, go to
Kratos versus Jesus?
Roman gods. You
Roman
could do,
gods.
You could do the Odin type gods, the Norse gods. You could do all kinds of shit.
Yeah, back in
That's
the day,
great,
right? Yeah.
but
You're the
you're
supreme
still
god.
limited. You're still limited.
Not really, because here's the difference between God of War.
3 games to eliminate the entire Greek gods. So
That's
you
great.
know what? Think about it. 3 games to eliminate the Norse.
Think about
3
sequel
games to eliminate
games.
them.
Think about sequel games,
versus
okay?
Cupid.
Halo is on has a certain thing that you have to do, okay? And they pump them out all the time.
Yep.
Gears of War pumps out games all the time. Fable, it pumps out games pretty regularly. But with God of War, it's always a very good spacing in between the next game because they take their time and refine the product.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that plays God of War and has a bad time playing it.
I bought a PS3 just to play God of War 3. I had played God of War 1 and 2 on the PS2, and I bought a PS3 just to play number 3. I bought a PS4 knowing that there would be a God of War 4.
My sister showed up one time to visit, and she had a PSP with her. One of the games she had was the God of War on
Chains of
PSP.
Olympus?
And I ended up taking her fucking PSP the whole time she was there.
Let me play this.
But before we...
Wait, no, I've got one more game on the list. I want everybody's first reaction, initial reaction to this for all consoles.
We'll start with Matt.
Battletoads.
Gotta be a side-scroller.
Battletoads, holy crap, how old is
Gotta be a side-scroller.
Very excited.
Battletoads.
That makes me believe that they're going to bring back a better Toe Jam and Earl.
Now, I don't...
Oh, man, I love that one.
Now, I don't know if it's going to be a brand new... I don't know if it's going to be a brand new game or if it's going to be a remaster like they did with Turtles in Time.
Well, Turtles in Time I played because of the extravagant gift you gave the boy for his birthday.
Yeah.
But I played Turtles in Time. It took me a half hour, and I was like, you know what?
I love that
It was
game.
lame. It took longer, but I captured a fucking childhood that I'd never get back. And it was way better remastered.
I used to drop quarters like crazy in the Turtles
I
in Time
still
machine.
do. Stop and Play has it.
Yes,
Stop and Play
Stop and Play does have it.
19.
But I don't know if it's going to be something remastered or if it's going to be something brand new that they're going to update for next gen. I'm hoping for remastered so I can go after the sewer level again. I fucking hated that. And that game can kiss my ass. But I'm still going to buy it.
Yeah. Holy crap, though.
Here's what it should be. It should be a Battletoads side-scroller done in HD with some really cool graphics and interesting stuff, packaged in as a free DLC with Uncharted. Something like that. That would be really cool.
I'd like to see another Conker's Bad Fur Day.
You can do that. You can do it. You can include it with PS Plus. Because
You
could.
PlayStation
Easily.
4
Yeah,
is
easily.
for the gamers.
That is the E3 launch free download.
Oh, yeah. And fucking, I think Sony's going to kick ass with this. They're going to blow everybody out of the water. Especially, one last thing, Project Morpheus. Their VR headset.
It comes with a 3 gig tooth gap.
But Media Molecule is actually working on a game exclusively for the Project Morpheus headset. Think Little Big Planet from the perspective of Sackboy. You're building your own levels, and you get to physically look at them. I don't know if you remember Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, when you
Yeah,
could
I
ride the roller coasters that you build.
Yeah.
Think about it that way.
Yeah, but when you're sitting at a desk, it's lame unless you have one of those computer chairs that lean back.
Am I the only one in Roller Coaster Tycoon who used to make my roller coasters with no end?
I used to do it with the
Everyone tried that. It's like, let's kill.
No bathrooms. Like I charge $80 for my bathroom. Like one
the
bathroom.
shuttle loop.
My favorite game, by the way, let's bring off a little off topic. PlayStation had the Project Genesis, which was a tycoon game for Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that
And I
one.
love that
loved
game.
it. I love that
I
one.
found, because I still have a PS2.
You
'cause
found it online, right?
I still rock old school, so I got the old school cut, downloaded on a disc, play on my PS2. And I'll tell you what,
Piracy is illegal.
yeah, well, so is rape, but Game of Thrones done. So I play it all the time, and I charge like $120 to use the bathroom. I have one bathroom. I make a fortune off of people pissing and shitting.
Is your job to recycle every joke that I make?
I actually
Yes,
did.
because I like people not to laugh.
I had Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 on an old laptop, and I just decided to open up the park. I made it free admission, but the only thing in there was a bathroom. It was a long pathway all the way to the back of the park, where there was just one bathroom.
I do mine, so you have to take the Jeep tour through the herbivore thing or whatever, and go all through, take the hot air balloon tour, and then use the bathroom. I make my computer people wait
Before
forever.
our relapse, I do have a subject that I think we need to talk about. It's not the hero we want, but it's the hero we deserve.
Because I'm Batman.
Hero Kitty. The cat
I thought we
that
were talking
saved the
about
day.
sad Batman memes. I love sad Batman memes.
The dark cat.
We're talking about, here's this
Push
dog,
swing.
this crazy dog, and he fucking comes around the side of this car, and he yokes this kid up by his leg, starts doing the death rattle shake with him, and all of a sudden, in like 2 seconds,
It's a
this
flying
fucking
cat.
comes out like Roman Reigns, and fucking spear, like all 4 claws extended, leaps on his face, and just beats the shit out of this
Nana
dog.
to the 16th power.
If you look at a picture of the cat with the cat is as big as the kid is.
That wasn't a cat. That was a
I
fucking
have 2 cats, and one of my cats is ginormous.
This cat chased the dog around the car like, come on, bitch, come get some. I told you about stepping in my yard, motherfucker.
This is my boy.
Tell you what, all the nip he wants for the rest of his life.
Here's what's really awesome. That kid, or that cat, he took the family. He just showed up one day and just started hanging around. They just let him in. He adopted the
And
family.
then the city grabbed him. He's been euthanized. Thank you.
That's terrible.
Hero Cat is the man. He's almost as much as a man as DJ Kitty.
Oh man, DJ Kitty at the Rays games. He's sitting there. They put him up on the jumbotron. He's wearing a Rays jersey and he's got his owner's hand up the jersey. That's like moving his hand like a DJ would. Like, yeah, guys, what's up? And this cat's got this look of utter disdain on his face.
Thanks, Obama.
And he's like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you.
My favorite thing is when you're sitting in the trop and they go into DJ Kitty on the sideboards. They have only his eyes there, and they're doing like the Powder Puff Girls fucking laser beams past his head. It's like da 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 da.
Awesome. She has some awesome powers, Buttercup.
But I'm relapsing.
You know how I know you're gay?
Because
Cardigan sweaters.
Because I love cartoons.
All right,
You look like Ellen.
all right, let's go relapse. And we're back from our relapse. Matt, how was it for you?
Oh, I needed it so bad.
All right, and just like out of every relapse, we're going to do what we usually do.
My throat's
It's
sore.
time for Yeah Jeets.
Yeah, Jeets. Dick breaker.
So, what kind of stuff we got going on in the sports world today, Matt?
Speaking of dick breaker, we got Michael Sam. He's the first openly gay NFL athlete to be drafted.
Speaking of dick breaker, we're talking about Michael Sam.
Hey man, you try to do a better transition than that, you can't.
Jesus.
That's a long transition, man.
Guys, let's just stop and talk about football.
I think the Batista one from a couple episodes back was great.
It was so bad. You fucked up so bad. Okay, you can't get a better transition than Dick Breaker into Michael Sam.
Okay, let's go. What's going on with Michael Sam?
So he's the first openly gay athlete drafted into the NFL. He's the first openly gay athlete in the NFL. There's been a couple of guys who've come out after their careers have elapsed, said I was gay, and I think that on one side it's really cool to see a guy who's really open with his sexuality, saying, "Hey, I'm gay and I'm still a pro NFL athlete."
damn straight.
But the problem is that I think that that there's a lot of people standing on their pulpit and their soapboxes about how awesome this thing is for him, or for that they would just want to put out there like, I'm okay with it, I'm all right. You're like, you know what? It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. I'm glad you said it, because it shouldn't matter at all.
See, I was doing some stuff for work, and one of the guys was bringing me apart, and he goes, "So, did you watch the NFL draft?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What do you think of the Michael Sam thing?" I'm like, "I have no opinion."
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? He's gay. Good for him that he can be open about himself without feeling the need to be
If
persecuted.
he gets us to a playoff, I don't care if he sucks dick or bongs.
Here's what I don't care about. I don't care about the fact that he kissed his boyfriend on there. I don't care about the sensual touching or anything like that.
Tebow's rolling around in his grave.
I don't care about the cake mushing or anything like that, because I don't give a fuck. In my overall grand scheme of life, I do not care about the guy being gay or not. If you want to, you fuck who you want to fuck. I don't care. I don't
Happy
have
is
enough
happy,
hate.
bro. Happy.
Yeah.
You have to have so much hate in your heart to fucking hate somebody for the person that they want to have sex with. It's just not a.
Did you hear the interesting backstory on his boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yes.
About his boyfriend's grandfather being in the mob, and his uncle was known as the Rat, and they were basically. It's believed that they're the inspiration for the movie Casino.
Here's what I do care about, though.
Yeah.
Here's what I do care about.
That's cool.
Is that 7 of his 12 sacks...
Wait a minute, man.
love
It's
Joe
no
Pesci.
stomping. We got to be more professional.
I know.
Shut up.
I know. But it's 9 out of his 12 sacks.
9 out of his 12 sacks were consumed in 2 games,
Florida and Arkansas Pine Bluff.
which are not great teams to play against.
Yeah.
Plus, he had a terrible combine and a terrible pro day. Okay, you're talking about where he underperformed in every situation. I think that the coming out of the closet may have been a way to put his name out there, so he did get drafted.
No,
But he did have enough acumen to be drafted.
point.
However, with the terrible performances from a defensive player, which is not typical from a defensive player, you're talking about a situation where the Rams took a risk on a position they already had filled, so he's going to play depth and possibly be good. My problem is that now if he's cut because he's not good enough, it's not going to be because he's not good enough. It's going to be because he was gay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Media's got that eye on it just as much as you do.
Here's the thing that gets
understand
me. That gets me really. It gives me kind of a red flag about the Mike
Hard
Sam
nipples, you can
situation.
say it.
When he was at Missouri and he won SEC Player of the Year, this was before he came out of the closet, before any of the draft stuff. He was projected to be a 3rd to 4th rounder because of his size. He's a tweener. He's not necessarily an outside linebacker. He's too big for that. He's not athletic enough. But he's not big enough to go up against left tackles in the NFL. He can fight off chip blocks from a tight end or a right tackle, but he's not a pass rusher.
He could work well in a 3-4 if you were putting him as the optional outside linebacker.
I don't even think he's quick enough for that.
Bullshit.
No, that's not bullshit. His pro day proves it.
I don't even think that he's quick enough.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. He ran a 4.940.
Which is slow.
4.9 is what's reserved for 280-pound tight ends and offensive linemen. Okay?
They call him a tight end.
He
For an
underperformed.
outside linebacker, they want to run like a 4.5, 4.6, and for a pass rusher, you want to see 4.6, 4.7.
He dramatically underperformed at the combine.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Watch his game tape.
I want to reiterate. Say that again.
What, you're trying to bring up the tight end thing because you're trying to be classy or trying to be shock value?
I'm not trying to be shock value or
The
classy.
outside linebacker running like a 4.5, 4.6, and the
4.5,
defensive
4.6
end running a
versus-
4.6, 4.7.
4.9.
What's the difference?
4.9 as opposed to a 4.6 is a dramatic difference when you're talking about the milliseconds that it takes to close a gap.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look up his 10-yard split because that's what's
important.
key. The 10-yard split is important for a defensive
I'm
lineman.
bringing that up because that's important.
Now, here's what's important is that you need to watch his game tape, and the majority of his spectacular plays come from teams that underperform in his division. Mizzou is now part of the SEC, and the SEC is the single probably hardest division of college football to play. Now, you're talking about a guy who, when he plays against divisional opponents, does not perform. The SEC is the NFL junior. Okay, it is the breeding. It is basically the NXT of the NFL.
It's AAA ball, to put it in baseball terms.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, Michael Sam ran a 1.72 10-yard split. The average, if you take his score out of it, for a defensive end at the combine this year is 1.56.
Okay.
That's your initial 10-yard spurt off the ball and how quickly you can get over to the quarterback.
Now, that's important.
He's not good in pass protection. He never has. He's been one of those guys.
The only reason I'm bringing it up, not for shock value, not for gay rights or bullshit like that. I was saying it
because you said tight end.
If you knew that shit,
Asshole.
then it was important. You can't just say it without backing up the facts. I'm just saying.
We are backing up facts, and that's the difference, is that the debate of Michael Sam becomes an issue of the gay autonomy as opposed to his ability as a player.
I'm siding with you with the fact that he probably did it for attention.
He didn't. He did it because somebody it was going to come out anyway, and he wanted to decide how the coverage was going to be taken.
If he had done it just for the attention, he wouldn't have told his teammates before last college
2
football
years
season.
before.
Yeah. He wouldn't have told them,
okay, you're right.
Because you know what? When the NFL teams are poking and prodding around your childhood best friends, your position coaches, and your teammates,
And they do that.
Eventually it's going to come out that he's gay. Yeah. So he wanted to be able to control the narrative of it. He wanted to know.
Smart.
He wanted to know what questions were going to be asked. He wanted to know everything about his sexuality before it got blindsided to him in a team meeting, like when Dez Bryant was being interviewed by the Miami Dolphins.
Good example.
And the Dolphins GM or assistant or one of them said, "So, I heard your mom's a hooker." And he almost punched a Miami Dolphins representative in the face because of it.
Yeah.
Here's my biggest problem with Michael Sam. I actually very much commend his ability to come out and say I'm a gay athlete. I commend his physical abilities to be able to play in the SEC and do well. Okay, I have a problem with his combine. The fact that the most of his statistics come from 2 games, and I have a problem with the fact that even his closest allies say that he has an emotional problem, which he's really emotional, which means that if he does really poorly on a play, he's going to take it very hard. So my play is, do you really want a guy who's going to be very emotional on your locker room? And I don't have any problem with drafting a fantastic athlete. If Jadeveon Clowney came out and said he was gay, we would be having a completely different conversation than if we said Michael Sam was.
Absolutely correct.
See, the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Year over the last 8 seasons hasn't been drafted lower than 11th or 12th in the NFL draft, in the first round. The Defensive Player of the Year from the SEC. So Michael Sam, projected as a mid-3, early 4 pick, to get ripped apart the way that he was and not taken until pick 248.
It was like 6 picks left at the end of the draft.
Yeah, it was like 6 picks left from the end of the draft. You know, you don't want to think that his sexuality had a play in it, but you know what? There are a couple of teams, just a handful of teams that Michael Sam could go to and flourish. One of them is the New England Patriots. Another one's the St. Louis Rams.
Another one's the Baltimore Ravens.
They're teams that control the media presence. They only give out a certain number of press credentials. They don't allow reporters in the locker room. So he went to the perfect situation for himself.
Yeah.
And you know what? If he doesn't make the team, nobody can blame it on his sexuality. Because guess what? You look at that Rams team, they're fucking stacked. That team is 4 deep at defensive end right now. And you know, there's absolutely zero way that his sexuality can be blamed. And Jeff Fisher, known as one of the most progressive coaches in the NFL, won't allow his sexuality to be a factor. Did you know, fun fact, the St. Louis Rams back in 1946 actually signed the first African-American NFL player?
Here's what's really cool.
It's a franchise that's always set benchmarks. And you know, you don't hear about the St. Louis Rams in 46 because Jackie Robinson was 47.
Here's what's really cool about the St. Louis Rams drafting Michael Sam, and the fact that he could be a very good outside linebacker defensive end split, is that he has a couple of intangibles in that when he puts his hand on the ground as he's pivoting, he's able to move through. He kind of plays like a slow Dwight Freeney. And what I like about Michael Sam is that he went to Mizzou, which is just down the street from St. Louis. He's already in a community that already embraces and loves him. So it's the perfect NFL place for him to go to.
You're not sending him to Oakland where they'll scream whatever at either home or away players. You're not sending him into a hostile environment.
You're not sending him to Cleveland. You're not sending him to...
keeping him close to home, which, you know what? As much as it shouldn't be a factor, it's the perfect situation for Michael Sam. Yeah. And you know what? You watch this right now. Michael Sam will be number 2 on that defensive end depth chart by the end of the season.
Here's why I say that. I say that because if he fails in St. Louis to make a roster spot, it is not going to be because of his sexuality, and it's going to be entirely because his physical capabilities could not fill the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a situational pass rusher. In the way that John Abraham was used last year in Arizona. Yeah, Abraham's 37 years old. He can't go for 3 downs the way that he used to. So they would bring him in on obvious passing downs for him to get after the quarterback. He got 10 sacks last year in that position.
Here's the solution for Michael Sam.
He played 18% of the defensive snaps for fucking Arizona, and he got 10 sacks. Michael Sam is a situational pass rusher against certain quarterbacks, too.
Here's the solution for Michael Sam. You either gain 38 or 30 pounds and become a defensive end, or you lose 20 pounds and become the offensive linebacker.
Actually,
or the outside linebacker.
He could gain 30 pounds and become a 3-technique D tackle that rushes the quarterback.
He has size. He's got a good frame to him. He's got a good muscular frame, and he's got the abilities to be able to pivot well on a line. But the problem is that he's too slow to be an outside linebacker, and he's not big enough to be a defensive end. So either gain 30 pounds of muscle and go defensive end, or lose 20 pounds and become a quicker outside linebacker.
His pro day stated that he doesn't excel in pass protection. He was never asked to go into pass protection at Missouri.
Well, what about this? If he applies himself, he could go balls deep.
He could go balls deep. Honestly,
You guys are sick.
he's going balls deep. But
So here's some other things too. What were the standouts from the draft for you? I mean, I have a couple in my sleeve here, but what do you think?
Oh, easily. Do you want to know like players or teams?
I want to know what you thought were the best
personal.
pickups.
No. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars fucking killed it.
They did.
I think they went after the quarterback that they wanted at number 5 in Blake Bortles. Then what do? They go out and they grab Marquise Lee,
Great pick.
Allen Robinson.
Great pick.
They rebuilt that offense in one draft.
Which
And
worries me as a
possibly-
Bucs fan.
2 or 3 years from now,
They're not divisional.
2 or 3 years from now, you're going to hear about Jacksonville having this very good offense, especially if Blackman can clean his shit up, and Ace Sanders and
Cecil Shorts.
Yeah, this is going to be a damn good team, and they're starting to rebuild their offensive line too. Gus Bradley's building something there in Jacksonville, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I had an absolute favorite pick in the draft, and my favorite pick so far in this draft was when, in the second round, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took Austin Seferian-Jenkins at tight end, because they had already drafted Mike Evans, who's a 6'5" wide receiver, to pair up with Vincent Jackson. So you got two big guys, plus you got who at quarterback?
Mike Glennon, Josh McCown.
Josh McCown, whose best success came from throwing to Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffries, who are big guys, okay?
Above 6'4".
So now you're getting Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans,
Who's
and now
Vincent
at
Jackson
the tight
clone?
end. At the tight end, you're adding Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who I actually liked much more than Jace Amaro. I thought that was, besides Eric Ebron, who I thought was a great pick by the Bills to put in with their second year quarterback. I thought that them moving up to take Sammy Watkins. I'm sorry, they didn't take Ebron. They took Sammy Watkins, and then the Detroit Lions took Eric Ebron, which was another one of my favorite picks because you're pairing it up with Calvin Johnson. Okay, you got Reggie Bush in the backfield. So what happens when you get to the red zone? If you look at red zone numbers, the Detroit Lions did not throw to Calvin Johnson because he's getting double, triple teams. They did not throw to Reggie Bush or did not run it to him on the options because he was getting double, triple teamed. But now they were throwing it to the tight end. The tight end had no fantasy statistical value except for the 10 touchdowns that he got that year. Now you're taking a dynamic playmaker like Eric Ebron and putting him in that offense. The Lions just got really fucking dangerous.
And they have Golden Tate at wide receiver too, which is
Now
a
they do,
very
yeah.
underrated pickup from them in the offseason.
And the banger of Russell Wilson's wife.
But when you look at Austin Seferian-Jenkins with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is a guy who was projected to go into the top 5 last year. You can look at the 2013 draft, and people right after that draft is over, they project 2014 using the previous season win-loss. They had the Bucs taking Seferian-Jenkins at number 5 overall. Okay? So to get the guy at number 39, 40, 41, whatever he was, what caused him to slip was he had to add weight, and he added too much. He was playing at 285. He got a stress fracture in his foot. He was 245. He put on 40 pounds.
Holy crap.
So now the guy's lost another 20 pounds. He's 265. He's 6'5", 265. He runs a 4.47 40. 6'5", 265, 4.47. Those are Rob Gronkowski numbers without the back injury.
Yeah.
And without the fucking off-field issues.
And this guy, this is going to be a force to be reckoned with this season.
This was a guy that they were saying was a lot like Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
With the way that he would play, but pre-murder Aaron Hernandez.
I'll take that dynamic playmaking any day.
But you're combining that with Mike Evans, Vincent Jackson. You're combining that with Doug Martin, Muscle Hamster. Bobby Rainey, and you've drafted a pass-catching. I don't believe
Charles
that.
Sims, he's going to be playing wide receiver before the end of training camp. He's not going to be a running back.
I absolutely believe that. I think that's their option wide receiver.
He's 6'2", 215. He's not a running back.
And 2 proven running backs in the backfield. So you're talking about a small option wide receiver.
Don't forget about Mike James.
Mike James, I think that they're going to package one of those running backs up and sell him. I don't think it's going to be Doug Martin. It might be Bobby Rainey. It might be Doug James.
You know what? If you can
Provisional draft picks.
If you can take a guy like Mike James and you can flip him and get a 4th or a 5th rounder for him, then you do that.
I think you take a 5th round provisional draft pick.
Mike James
for a
was a 6th
possible
round pick. If you can at least get back what you spent on him, then you're good. Because before Mike James broke his leg on the Monday Night Football game against the Dolphins this year, he was averaging 5.5 yards per carry.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. And, Bobby Rainey, you got him on the cheap. You took him off of practice squad. He had 4 touchdowns in a game.
You know who else came off a practice squad? Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
You can get good guys off a practice squad, and you have to be able to put them in the right system to flourish.
And you know what? With the Buccaneers anointing Mike Glennon as the quarterback of the future, it's a smokescreen. They're smokescreening for next year's draft already.
Jameis Winston.
No. Marcus Mariota.
Mariota's a good choice.
You look at Marcus Mariota right now in Oregon, he's got 3 receivers, including his tight end, that are over 6'1". You've got pass-catching running backs, you've got a speed back on the ground, and you have a between-the-tackles running back. Your between-the-tackles running back is Doug Martin. Your speed back is Bobby Rainey. Your 3 pass catchers are Vincent Jackson, Mike Evans, and Austin Safarian Jenkins. You have just built an offense that is tailor-made for Marcus Mariota, who, by the way, was recruited out of high school by Jeff Tedford before he went over to Oregon.
Here's my thing that has to happen with that is that you're depending on the Buccaneers doing poorly this year to be in a position to be able to take Marcus Mariota.
No, I think they're going to mortgage the future to get Mariota.
I think that the other problem is that Chip Kelly will give his firstborn's virginity to fucking get that guy too. That's his quarterback.
Yeah, that it's all possible, but I could see the Bucs offering a package, 2-3 first rounders to get Marcus Mariota, especially if they contend for a playoff spot this year. Say the quarterback position in Tampa is very lacking. Josh McCown doesn't live up to the hype of last season. Mike Glennon doesn't do any better, but they're a team that's on the cusp of the playoffs. You go ahead and you give up 2 or 3 first-round picks to get a guy like Marcus Mariota, who is tailor-made for the offense. He's 6'5". Keep in mind, Marcus Mariota is 6'5". Right.
But you went from a position of 7, and now you're talking about barely qualifying. Or you're talking about possibly qualifying for the playoffs. Now you're drafting at a 16 instead of a 7.
And then you go ahead and you give a team that needs some pieces to rebuild. Guess what? Dallas is not going to be contending this year. I'm going to put it out there right now. Dallas will be picking top 5 next year.
Wow, you're really reaching for the stars on that one.
Hey, no matter what the situation, over the last couple of years, people have been saying it, that Dallas isn't going to be the team that they are. At the end of the season, they're still contending for the division title.
They suck.
I think this is going to be a team that's going to finish 4-12.
What about the Johnny Manziel pickup by Cleveland, and especially considering the Josh Gordon suspension that is imminent and going to happen because this is his second violation in 2 years, the season-long suspension, and that they didn't deviate from the program and pick up a wide receiver?
Well, they done goofed.
I think they done goofed too.
But I do like the Johnny Manziel. I like the fire in Manziel, especially since it's come out over the last couple of days that he was texting the quarterbacks coach for the Browns, and he was saying,
"Hurry up and draft me!
Hurry up and draft me! Let's wreck this league together." Yeah, that's the kind of guy I want on my team. You know what? If he's texting not the general manager, not the coach, he's texting his position coach, his potential position coach, and saying, "Come on, come get me. Let's do some shit."
And I'm going to eat a little crow real quick and say that I said that Johnny Manziel was going to be all business, and then the second he gets drafted that night, he goes out and spends $2,000 on Miller Lights and fireball shots for the whole bar.
Bad boy.
You know, I may have misread that situation. And by may, I did.
But they are doing a very good job of knocking this kid back down to earth. Hey, man, just because we took you in the first round doesn't mean that you're our starter.
They came out and said he was not the starter.
It's Brian Hoyer's job to lose, because Hoyer was playing very well last year before he tore his ACL in the game against the Bills.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see Hoyer doing some good stuff this year. He might keep Johnny Football on the bench. And then, you know what? You got a potential trade in Brian Hoyer.
I thought that Cleveland was poised to be a contender for their divisional draft spot or their divisional playoff spot because of the moves they made in the offseason and because of their pickups on offense with bolstering the line, picking a quarterback for the future, things like that. How much of a fucking asshole is Josh Gordon for not putting down the fucking hookah and just deciding, you know what, I'm not going to fucking test positive this offseason, I'm going to play football. How important is smoking the joint over your fucking career?
Yeah.
And it's not like a career like I make $30,000 a year, because I've made that fucking mistake before. It's talking about making possibly millions of dollars, and you can't put down the fucking roach clip?
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Let's just say it right now.
He was talking shit to Manziel during the fucking draft, like, hurry up and draft Manziel so he can be a fucking Super Bowl contender. And then you fucking test positive for marijuana, you dumb motherfucker.
Here's the thing. He knew the suspension was coming. The suspension was... The Cleveland Browns and Josh Gordon were notified of the suspension 2 months ago. And he's still sitting there like, hey, come on, let's go wreck this. Let's just go kick their ass. Bitch, you're sitting out for a year. This is the guy that got kicked out of Baylor for smoking pot. This was the guy that was drafted in the supplemental draft with a third-round pick.
This is a guy who served a 2-game suspension last year because of a
4 games last year.
And he was off our fucking radar in fantasy because he was serving the 4-game suspension.
Yeah.
And then he comes back dynamo, and now you're going to miss a whole fucking season? Who the fuck do you think you are, Ocho Cinco?
Yeah, you know what? You're a guy trying to prove. You know what? I would expect it. I would expect this if he was making $15 million a year. I would expect it. Because this is a guy who's gotten his contract and he's just going to turn around and just to fuck it up. This guy's making $200,000 a year. That's it. He's playing for his next contract. And don't think that your fucking smoking pot is not going to factor into your next contract negotiations.
Guess what? No one's going to offer you a contract bigger than $2 million to go do that. And you can't fucking retire on $2 million.
You're one piss test away from being banned for life.
One more negative piss test, you're banned for life.
What do you guys think of this? Dan? Craig?
They're not fucking paying attention. They're busy looking at fucking wieners.
No, I'm very much paying attention. I agree mostly.
He's trying to look up shots of naked photos of Michael Sam's boyfriend.
I'm trying to look up naked photos of you, but they're all over the place. I can't pick one.
Yeah, there's like thousands of them. That's why you don't send
I'm
dick
going to go with
pics.
Cameron 6040. Cameron makes most sense to me with the fact that he understands.
We're not disagreeing, you ass. You
No,
just weren't
we're
listening.
agreeing. We've got different sides of the same argument.
I'm on your
No.
side.
What was the side?
No, they're right. That's pretty much the gist of it. They're
I mean,
both
why argue
right.
it? They're both right.
You know,
all the
I mean,
time.
the guy's a moron for what he's doing. I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm paying attention.
We're
You're
in
not.
unison about the agreement. You're just not paying attention, you jackass.
Yeah, no, at least I'm not.
Guys, focus. Over here. Shiny red ball.
Glitter. Sparkly object. Look at the keys.
You got me all pissed off about Josh Gordon. What's next?
So we're going to talk about something else that's going to piss you off. How about this bullshit fucking suspension for Robert Mathis for taking a fertility aid to have a baby with his wife? Okay?
That's bullshit.
All right, and now Roger Goodell just suspended him for 4 games, and he didn't even fucking review why he was suspended. And his doctor can corroborate, okay, that he told him he wasn't going to test positive on an NFL banned substance list, and that he could prove that he was taking the substance for fertility on the off season.
I'm not a Colts fan, but I'm going to go out and buy a 98 Robert Mathis jersey. Because, you know what? It takes one hell of a man to come out and admit and say, hey, man, my semen doesn't work right.
Yeah.
So you know what? I want to have a child with my wife.
He took performance-enhancing drugs.
He got
didn't.
suspended.
No, he
for
didn't. He took a
few-
fertility aid.
Yeah.
He took a fertility drug.
testosterone booster, and that is
So he
banned
could
by
get
the
his
NFL.
wife.
Yeah.
A fertility drug is a performance-enhancing
But
drug.
here's the thing.
Apparently.
though.
No, it's not.
Scientifically,
It
that's
was
what it is.
prescribed to him after
say
the
it's not.
season.
But facts
with
are
his
facts.
doctor saying that this is not something that is on your banned substance list, he specifically went to his doctor and asked him, is this going to violate my NFL contract? And the doctor said no. And the doctor will corroborate with him that he did in fact tell him that situation. It is not a performance-enhancing drug because he was taking it as soon as the season ended.
Yeah, you know what?
He's losing what, $705,000?
No, it's much more than that.
$3 million.
It's much more than that.
It is $705,882 of his $3 million base salary.
All because you want to have a baby. How fucked up is
For
that?
the first month of the regular season.
Your NFL commissioner, that fucking cross-eyed jackass Roger Goodell, is not going to sit there and listen to why you tested positive, as you clearly explain, have medical documentation, and are opening your medical records, which are sealed by the HIPAA Act, okay, to say, I did not do this on purpose. My doctor told me this would not be a problem, and he will not even convene to say, we can look at it.
The drug was called Clomid, number one. Number two, it was not even said, and still has not been said, that it's on the list of drugs that they cannot. It's not on the list of drugs that are not to be used.
Okay, this is the one thing.
It's not a banned substance.
I'm incredibly pissed off at his suspension. However, to play devil's advocate, to play the other side of the coin too, how hard is it for you to pick up your phone and call the Colts team doctor and say, hey, my doctor wants to prescribe me for this? Check and see real quick what's on the banned substance.
The counterargument is that the Clomid is banned by the NFL because it can be used as part of a steroid cycle, reducing or limiting side effects of their use and restoring natural production.
Taken in the 4 months of your off season, in which it is amicable to say that it will come completely out of your system, used in a gesture that is not condemned as a performance-enhancing substance, used only as a fertility agent in the off season while you are trying to copulate with your wife, and as your evidence, your fucking wife is pregnant. Explain that shit.
That's the other thing. There was this
She
long
is
statement.
pregnant. It did work, but he also didn't do what he was supposed to do.
There was this. There
Tell
was
the
this long
NFL that
statement.
he was taking this drug.
Because he asked his licensed doctor
Fuck the doctor! He's supposed to talk to the NFL!
It's the HIPAA Act!
Well, you do not have to all I want, but you have to talk to your boss at the end of the day.
You do not have to come to your boss and say, hey, my sperm is fucked up. I have to take a fucking fertility aid.
If it's part of your job requirement,
it is not part of his job requirement to declare that he has a need for fertility aid. It is not.
If people in the past have used it to deter their steroid use, he has to say it to get the heat off of him.
His NFL-sanctioned doctor told him that he was allowed to take that.
And what's the problem then?
Okay, guys.
The problem is that the guy suspended him without reviewing his medical documentation, which he made readily available to avoid suspension.
Guys, can I go ahead and just change gears here, because y'all have inspired me? Can we talk about something that will eventually be put out to pasture and used to inseminate other horses in California Chrome?
Yeah. What I'm saying is the Clomid is banned by the NFL.
You know, horses don't take Clomid. We're talking about horses
It's
now.
banned by the NFL.
In the off-season.
You could be hung like one, you know?
In the off-season. You took him to the off-season.
God, things just got weird.
Where you tell me football's going on now?
Yeah. What football do you see going on now?
Preseason game has gone on.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's exactly
That's
the
off-season to them.
That's exactly
I'm not
the
talking about me,
deterrent
that's
to your point.
Off-season to them.
That's the exact deterrent
It's
to your
still
point.
banned by them.
Yeah, and his NFL-sanctioned doctor told him it wouldn't be an issue. Because you don't have to declare your HIPAA-guarded rights to the NFL. Like you don't have to declare your HIPAA-guarded rights to your employer.
Like the same way that, you know, Josh Freeman didn't have to disclose to the coaching staff that he was taking Adderall for attention deficit disorder.
Because he was protected by HIPAA and he was already in a program.
Yeah, the players are protected that they don't have to disclose to either the league or the team that they have some kind of a medical condition that requires
under the same
medication.
umbrella. I get that. I get that.
So Kentucky Chrome, or I'm sorry, California Chrome, which is owned by what? Jackass Stables?
Yeah, Jackass Stables.
Wilford Brimley lookalike?
Yeah.
One wins the Preakness and the Kentucky Derby, so we might be looking at a future fucking Triple Crown.
And there's a lot of coincidences when it comes to California Chrome. California Chrome was born on the 34th anniversary of Affirmed winning the Triple Crown, the last Triple Crown winner.
Gotcha.
The mother of the horse ended up finishing second in the Kentucky Derby. They ended up spending like $8,000 on this horse, and now this horse is cleared. Yeah, this horse has cleared $15 million in winnings as of today. It's insane.
A $10,000 investment, and the reason they're called Jackass Stables is because everyone said they were fucking stupid by spending $10,000 on this mare, and then all of a sudden California Chrome comes out from the direct generational line point, and now you have a $15 million horse with the possibility of winning a Triple Crown.
The first one since 1978.
Guess what? You can stud this motherfucker out for $1 million a pop.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, it's $2 million if he wins the Triple Crown.
It's $8 million if he wins the Triple Crown. You're talking double-digit millions to stud this horse out if he Triple Crowns. The first Triple Crown winner in how long?
38 years?
Yeah.
48 years?
Something like that.
38 years. 37.
So now we've got a horse that's won the Preakness. We have a horse that won the Kentucky Derby. We may, and traditionally this does not happen. Triple Crown does not happen. You can win two races and not win the Triple Crown.
Because it seems like the horses that win 2 out of 3 are kind of cursed.
Yeah.
If you really look back at the last couple, I don't recall the names, but one of them broke their leg during the Preakness and had to be put down out there. No, it was Barbaro. And they stabilized the leg, and then the horse ended up dying about a year later inside the stables from complications.
But you better believe they took seed samples.
Big Brown was running for the Triple Crown, came across the last stretch, and the jockey pulled him up because he knew that something wasn't right, and turned out that horse had a broken leg. And it's all these Derby and Preakness winners are just cursed.
Do you think this one is too, though?
It's hard to tell because this morning when it came to no, it wasn't this morning. It was last night. Last night they had discussed that the horse was developing a cough, and then you didn't hear anything about it. So it's like maybe something has cropped up. And Craig, why aren't you paying attention?
I'm looking up Max anti-facts.
Huh?
Nothing.
I'm sorry, the microphone didn't pick that up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because you're sitting over there on your computer texting your girlfriend.
He's Facebooking right now. Well, no, right now he's not. But he was like 2 seconds ago.
So
I saw those pictures.
all right.
I've already seen Sarah just Scarlett Johansson naked. You don't have to show me, man.
So we've exhausted all the horse talk. It's the only horse talk you're ever going to hear from
Yeah,
us.
let's talk about something else that's going to get us all riled up and fucking crazy.
Oh, God.
What about Donald Sterling, owner of the Clippers,
Racist
coming out?
fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my thing, okay? And
He supports him.
I'm going to go drop a Donald Sterling right now. I'll be right back.
Here's my thing. Okay, so Donald Sterling comes out, and his mistress, Vivian Stefiano, comes out and busts him with all these racist recordings and things like that, okay? Couldn't give a shit less about it. Okay, you're a racist. Okay, so you just fucking don't realize it's the goddamn 21st century, and you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't deserve to lose your team for that. But if you look back in his past, he's done a lot of things with, like, racist violations with renting rights and things like that, so he's been in a lot of trouble. My point of view is that I'm actually kind of glad that they're pursuing taking his team from him and things like that because I think it's funny that you talk shit to your mixed race girlfriend and you say all these nasty fucking things to her and she stone cold busts you on TMZ. I think it's funny. I think it's fucking hilarious. Okay, I don't care that he's a racist. He's a racist. He's a piece of shit for being a racist. Okay? But he's been a racist for a long time, and the first chance that Adam Silver gets to try to take that guy's team away, he does. Where he'd been protected by the old guard for a long time.
I think the greatest portion about this Donald Sterling story was the interview he did with Anderson Cooper. And he tried to justify, she got turned on by me throwing out racial slurs. And you can just see, like, Anderson Cooper has seen some shit. If Anderson Cooper shows up in your town in a tight black t-shirt, you know shit is going down. It's just, yeah, it's just to see, he was flabbergasted.
Yeah,
It was insane. And he's just like, what? And yeah, she got turned on by me saying the N-word to her.
yeah. I mean, that's perfectly normal right nowadays. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Of course.
Guess what? You talk shit to your crazy ass hooker girlfriend, and she got you blasted all over TMZ and pissed off Magic Johnson, and now Adam Silver's trying to take your fucking team away. Guess what? You're an asshole. You deserve it.
Mayweather wants to buy that team.
A lot of people do.
The other thing was
Mayweather
his
has the
ex-wife.
money to buy it. Like flat
So
out.
does Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Magic ain't gonna buy
This
it.
was the
Yeah,
other
you will.
thing was Donald Sterling's ex-wife saying, I want to still own this team. It's a part of my family. When you're the stupid bitch back in the 90s that said,
Thank you.
that basically said, yeah, we don't rent apartments to Koreans because they smell funny.
Listen to this fucking shit, okay? She used to pose as a home inspector for the government and walk into racial family housing to the places that they rent, guised as an inspector, and then inspect their homes on random. Guess what? That's fucking illegal.
Yeah.
She's just as bad as he is.
That sounds fucking familiar, doesn't it, Matt?
Oh, yeah, our landlord's a piece of shit.
Oh, wait till she gets a load of us leaving on the 1st.
Yeah, in lieu of rent, we're going to show up and give her the finger.
Oh, yeah. She has no idea we're going.
Yeah, right, man.
But what do you guys think about Donald Sterling? Like, do you think he deserves to lose his team? Do you think the shit's going on with him is funny?
I don't think he deserves to lose his team. I do believe he deserves what any player would get, if anything.
Here's the penalty. If the players go ahead and if he keeps his team, the players who are within 3 years of their negotiation time for their contracts are free and clear to walk.
Oh, yeah, I think
Agreed.
I think
He should
everybody
get-
on that
he
team should
get
be free
that
agents.
opportunity.
I think that they should
He's not the
relocate.
first fucking coach to say something like
He's
that.
not a coach. He's an owner.
I think
He's not
they
the
should.
first owner or coach to say something.
I think they should relocate the Milwaukee Bucks to Los Angeles and give the Clippers to Milwaukee because the Bucks is like 93% white.
Yeah, and he would like that, Kevin Love.
And that sounds racist to the multiple media.
Yeah.
That 7% is all Ricky Rubio. He's Spanish. He's barely Spanish. He is white Spanish.
Here's my thing: is that I like Stephen A. Smith and a couple of other guys have come out and said like white people are upset about the wrong thing and they're like you're standing on your soapbox. And they're like, no, we're not. Like I don't care that he's a racist. I think it's bad that he's a racist. It's not good for business. It's the 21st century. We should be past this as a people of human beings. We should be past this point of absolute terrible racism. But I don't think that he should lose his team for that. I think he should lose his team for mouthing off to his fucking hooker and letting her catch him on her cell phone and then being a fucking racist beforehand.
Number one, mouthing off to his hooker. I mean, he should be out for that alone. If a player got caught with a hooker.
I got to throw Darren under the bus for this one too. He was talking to me about she's like, well, a guy that rich, why would you pay for sex? You could get any sex that you want to. I said, Darren, you completely
They never had
misunderstood.
sex.
Here's the thing. Yeah, they did.
What?
According to her, they never had sex.
According
She
to
might
him,
be trying to keep her street cred up.
according to him, he paid her $500 if she was good when she banged him.
He also
which was all
gave
the
her a
time.
Range Rover and 20-inch dubs.
Here's the thing about a hooker, okay? You don't pay the hooker for sex. The pussy is free. You pay the hooker to go away and keep a secret. That's what it is.
That's true.
State senators have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Government officials all over the world have been doing
Yeah,
it.
you don't pay the hooker to stay. You pay her to
Where are
go.
those kidnapped girls?
So
Bring back our girls.
let's talk a little soccer. We're not going to go really in deep anyway. We just want to bring up some updates and shit like that. Like Dano's team and Darren's team. Arsenal wins the FA Cup over Hull City.
Yeah.
In a scratcher, the Hull City almost beat him, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Out of all the teams that they could be going against, it had to be Fulham.
Bayern.
Oh, fucker.
Yeah, you got a drink, man.
Bayern Munich wins the Bundesliga and the Deutsche Pokal, so they win a double this year. They go to the semifinals for that's a pretty good appearance by their team. Man City wins the EPL. Very cool.
Boo, Wendy Testerberry.
We wanted Liverpool, but Man City is the one that kept it together. So the big thing is that Atletico Madrid
Won La Liga.
wins La Liga, locks up over Barcelona and Real Madrid, and they have a Champions League berth to become the champions of Europe against their league rivals, Real Madrid.
Oh yeah,
I think they're going to get fucking murdered against Real Madrid.
I think it's
frankly.
going to be a very good match.
Yeah,
I would like to call it, because I have called it and it's been right a couple times. I'd like to call a 5-1.
For who?
5-1 who?
Real, right?
Absolutely.
I was going to say 4-1 Real Madrid. I think Gareth Bale and Benzema and Ronaldo and Di Maria and Sergio Ramos are just too much for that team to handle in the Champions League. This is the cup of cups.
You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. But you also you have to take chance into consideration.
I think it's about time for little brother to punch big brother in the mouth.
There's nothing more that I want for Diego Costa before his departure to Chelsea. Okay, with Coke and David Villa.
I want David Villa to get one.
And I want little brother Atletico Madrid to punch Real in the mouth.
I think it's going to go to shootouts.
I don't. I think that Real's
absolutely
going to
not. No shootouts. No way.
No, I go to shootout. It's going to be 3-2, and it will be to
taking chance,
Real Madrid.
Taking chance into the equation, a shootout is probably 11 to 12% possible.
Guess how Bayern lost it that way against Chelsea at home in the Champions League final, so it's not impossible. And a shootout between Atletico and Real could be very good.
When he does it.
But I think that Real, with Gareth Bale, we were talking about the other day in the house, Gareth Bale dribbling the ball and scoring this goal against Atletico the last time they played, he was running 26.9 miles per hour when he did this phenomenal goal strike, right? What's the world record with Usain Bolt? It's 29 miles an hour.
No, it's less than that. It's like 27 and change.
27 and
Because
change.
at 28 miles an hour, at 28 miles an hour, the stress put on your legs will snap your bones in your legs.
You won't be able to kick another goal.
And he wasn't just running a sprint, he was doing it with a fucking soccer ball in front of his feet. And then he scored a goddamn goal at 26.9 miles per hour. That combined with the most dynamic goal scorer that we have ever seen. Fuck Ronaldo. Fuck Diego Maradona. Fuck Miroslav Klose. Fuck Franz Beckenbauer. Fuck Rudy Voller. Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo.
I don't like that.
Is the single greatest goal scorer we have ever seen.
He's a great player.
And he is the other guy that plays right wing behind Gareth Bale. Plus, you have the French national team striker, Karim Benzema, sitting there. Plus, you have an Argentinian dynamo in Di Maria.
Di Maria.
Plus, you have Casillas. You have Casillas at goal. You have Sergio Ramos and Archuleta in defense. You have Xabi Alonso in the center field. I just do not think that in the grandest stage of them all, with as many times as Real Madrid has been shut out in the Champions League, that this is not their year.
The Brit doesn't follow soccer as much as you.
Yeah, because the Brit is not from the fatherland.
You're both single. You should have plenty of time.
I do. I watch it. He doesn't. He's a bastard. He's going to go to the World Cup and be like, "Oi, Britain!" when they get their asses kicked by, like, the Ivory Coast.
In the first,
Matt,
that's what's going to happen.
Matt, speaking of the World Cup is right around the corner. Are we doing anything special for the World Cup?
Yeah.
Actually, yes, we are. We're going to do a four-man thing. Darren's going to pick his team. You're going to pick your team. Dan's going to pick his team. And I'm going to pick my team.
I have to pick a team?
It's called the Winning 11 competition, and this is going to be so that you can win the World Cup. This is your team. This is our 4 teams for the World Cup. I'm going to put players on a draft board. We're going to draft 3 strikers, 4 midfielders, 3 defensemen, and a goalie. Okay? And from the entire national pool of World Cup players. And we're going to be playing against each other in a kind of round-robin pool.
The functionally retarded one's going to win it, and that's me.
Actually, you watch a lot of soccer now, man. You put on the La Liga game championship final without even prompting from me. You put on my game for me, and I didn't even ask you to.
Because I'm a good goddamn roommate. That's why.
Let's go.
You put on the EPL.
Let's leave. Let's let go of each other's cocks.
I put on the FA Cup because the fucking La Liga ended early.
Here's the thing,
though. Because I knew that Bayern was coming on after that.
Who, Bayern? Yeah. Drink again, sons of bitches. Bayern.
All right, so go on with the winning 11.
So here's the thing. You're going to pick your guys. You get a point for every goal that is scored from your guy. You get a half a point for every assist that is given by your guy. You get a predetermined point set value with your defenders. They start out at 2.5. and they lose a point for every goal that is scored against them, but they are also able to score goals. And your goalie starts out with 5 points, and every goal that he lets in, he loses a point.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how it's going to work. So no, you can't pick a scrub goalie, you can't pick a scrub defenseman. If your guy gets eliminated, he gets eliminated, and you do not get to put a new guy in.
Crap.
So that's something we're going to do on the next show. We're going to have the winning 11 draft for our teams.
That sounds pretty damn
It'll be a
good,
nice little
actually.
special like we did for the NFL draft.
Speaking of the World Cup,
We skipped episode 8.
Here, speaking of the World Cup, with the president of FIFA fucking up and giving the goddamn 2016
Bullshit.
World Cup to Qatar, when they said that it's going to be easily way too hot to play. Okay, despite that, Brazil's opening stadium for the opening ceremonies of the World Cup and the opening games is not going to be ready until after the World Cup is concluded. But here's the thing. The only thing they haven't finished is they haven't put on the glass roof over the overhangs, which would protect the guys from rain. But guess what? It's fucking summer in Brazil. It's the rainy season, you sons of bitches.
You know, there's only one thing I have to say about the real fuck-ups when you look at the other countries in the World Cup. God bless America.
How's that gonna work?
America's the least popular country in the world. You're gonna tell me?
No, because you know what? Because here's the thing. We would get it done when we say we're going to get it
No,
done.
that's true. By the deadline, you get it done, but I mean, nobody would show up.
We'd be done with a year to spare on these fucking venues. And you're telling me that Brazil is known about their World Cup bid for a decade, and they can't get it finished on time. And in Qatar, they're dying in droves over there building this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge problem because it's way too hot to play in Qatar. Here's the thing, though. Of my teams that I'm really liking in the World Cup, I really like
Bayern.
Germany, because naturally I'm a German, so that's the team I root for. But I like America, too, because Jurgen Klinsmann...
Just don't pander.
We're not pandering.
You're pandering to
Don't
America.
pantomime either.
No, here's the thing. Germany is going to stomp an old-fashioned mud hole in America, first of all. But the division is very tough. They've got to play Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo.
And why
they
is it
also have
always
to play,
Ghana?
why is it always Ghana? Okay, but Ghana is the weak link in there because I think that the Americans are better than Ghana, and I think that they can beat Portugal. So I see there's two teams that advance from the group. I think that it could be Germany and the United States. The United States has a pretty good team this year. It's not like the old World Cups where we used to walk in with these fucking scrubs. We got the MLS going on. A lot of these guys play in other leagues in the rest of the world. We have a very strong squad. Our goalie Tim Howard plays for Everton, and they were almost a Champions League contender. You've got a couple of things going on. I think that the teams that are really going to impress this year is that Argentina needs to show up and really perform very well. I think that the United States with Jurgen Klinsmann has a good chance at qualifying to the next round. I don't think they win, but I think they can get past group stages. And I also think that teams like Uruguay or Spain could also do really well.
I was just thinking that.
Oh, no, I'm distracting them. We're watching coverage of the Rays, and Alex Cobb is back. He pitched tonight in Charlotte for Charlotte against the Clearwater Threshers. So it's about time for the Tampa Bay Rays to raise up and take their spot atop the AL East. Sorry, continue that.
Well, here's the thing. We're moving on. We're going to my favorite segment of the show. It's Game of Bones, everybody.
Please use lube.
Everyone give the wrong answer.
Okay, so here we're going to go Game of Bones. Yeah, it's popular culture. It's everything going on TMZ right now. It's where I get all the questions from. Everyone's favorite and now irrelevant smut seller from childhood arrested yet again. What's his name?
Smut seller from childhood?
Yeah, the guy that, when you were a kid, the thing that you would go on the internet and try to look up because it's the only thing you saw on nighttime TV.
Oh.
Man, back in my
Disqualification, no answers.
Yeah.
It is Joe Francis from Girls Gone Wild.
I was going to say that, but fuck. I thought you meant from childhood as when he was a child.
No, your childhood.
Okay, well, then I would have guessed Joe Francis.
Really? In our childhood?
Yeah.
Who do you want
to deliver your news? Who do you never want to deliver your news?
Fox.
I want Brian Williams to deliver my news, and I don't ever want Anderson Cooper to deliver my news because Anderson Cooper only shows up when shit hits the fan.
You know who you never want delivering your news? Potheads. The Marijuana News Network is going to launch soon. I imagine the lead correspondent, Tommy Chong, is probably not going to be that good.
Not enough snacks.
Cheeto shortage this year,
Oh,
man.
Matt, you would have been a pretty good field reporter back in the day.
I would have been. What guy who is even lucky to be working just put his reality show on hold?
Wow.
Give me just a moment
George
here.
Clooney.
No. Lucky to be working, just put his reality show. Nick Lachey.
No. It's Michael Sam.
What's he been in?
Oh, well,
Michael Sam had a reality show lined up
on Oprah
and
Winfrey's network.
found out that the Rams were going to get pissed off about his reality show because they would show it in-game coverage and shit, their practices and stuff, so he canceled his show. So, I'm winning by a resounding lead at the moment.
Apparently, yeah.
This world-famous spousal pugilist now has a clean record thanks to his expunged case after 3 years of probation. Who is it?
oh shit, the guy who should play Negan on The Walking Dead, Tom Sizemore.
It's not Tom Sizemore, but that's a hell of a good guess. Any other guesses?
I was thinking Tom Sizemore.
Any other guesses?
The guy who usually beats his wife,
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Hey, he's beating cancer, not his wife.
No. Hugh Jackman already beat his wife. That's why she's so ugly.
Hey, so did James Taylor, and people love him.
It's Mel Gibson.
Okay.
Oh, I never.
His
guessed that
record
one.
is clean.
Clean.
What billionaire dad still won't give his kid any scrape? He lives the good life while his kid lives a mile away from the airport.
The Good Life. Great clue.
Oh, a billionaire dad.
It just became a billionaire.
It's the CEO of Oracle.
No, sir.
No?
It's good, though. That's a good guess. It's a really educated guess.
Good.
Anybody got any guesses? He's a recent billionaire. And now you have to stay quiet because you guessed.
I'm going to say Facebook.
No.
No, Zuckerberg doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Dre.
Oh, shit!
Holy.
Dr. Dre just made that couple $1 billion deal with Apple to sell Beats by Dre. His kid lives in a rundown apartment by the airport, and he doesn't give him anything. If I'm a billionaire, the first thing I'm doing is making sure my kid never has to live a hard day in his
Well,
life.
that's where we differ. If I worked as hard as Dr. Dre did to make that money, and my kid didn't work anything, motherfuckers get $2 a month.
Here's the
I want my
difference.
kid to at least make an effort.
There we go.
Hey, here's the thing. You know, they give out grades at school, and they're like, oh, well, you got whatever in science, but then, like, in elementary school, they give you, like, the effort grades. It's like, your kid got an A for effort, but he got an F. He's fucking retarded.
Here's the thing. He is doing everything by himself. He's actually an underrated rapper. He's working on his career. He's got some independent money. That's how he feels that he's got his own apartment is paid for. But as a billionaire, I have biological children. I never want my kid to be living a mile away from the LA airport. And you take care of your kid, and you can still emphasize the need for them to go to school. I would pay for my kid to go to Harvard.
I'd put him to work in the company.
Exactly.
At least give him a job, so that we.
There's no reason why that kid needs to be.
But I would hold my child to the same standards that I was held to growing up.
Yeah.
You can do that while taking care of them at the same time.
Exactly.
That is true.
You know what? I would give him a nice cushy job sitting in an office doing quality control or whatever, you know. Yeah, you're the boss of 3 or 4 people, you're making this. But guess what? Your 3 or 4 people slip, and you're the one whose head rolls.
Yeah.
I would totally do that.
So, I pretty much already won, but here's the rest of the questions. This is the last place you would expect an underage drinking sting by the police.
Oh my God! It was a high school science teacher's house here in Pasco County, Florida, Mitchell High School.
Good guess, but it's not the right guess. It's a good guess, though. It's a very good guess. Anybody else got anything?
She was a Mitchell High School teacher, and she just got busted for fucking supplying alcohol at a post-prom party.
No.
No guesses?
It's a Journey concert, and surprise, no one was arrested.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, I actually just heard that one on the Mike Calta show on Friday.
This famous mansion just went up for $35 million.
Playboy Mansion.
Which one is it? It's not the Playboy Mansion.
The Michael Jordan's house.
No.
$35 million?
It's a famous mansion. You've definitely seen it before.
Madonna.
Is it
No.
the Richie Rich Manson?
No.
Is it
It's
Neverland?
not real.
Oprah Winfrey's.
Neverland
Nope.
Ranch.
Nope. You already said
Neverland.
Michael Jackson. It is Say Hello to My Little Friend. It's Scarface Mansion. $35 million. You can buy it today.
First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
And here's one for you, Cameron.
Okay.
Okay? This guy is able to take a role in a very important movie because his probation was just ended. Who is it?
In a very important movie. He is somebody from the new Star Wars.
No.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm just going to give it to you.
Just
go for it.
started.
Without the suspense, Sam Jones, Shiloh from Blue Mountain State, was just cleared to participate in the movie in Canada.
I donated $50 to that movie's Kickstarter. I helped get it made. I am so excited for that.
Blue Mountain State,
That
the
is-
movie is going to be awesome.
It's gonna be amazing.
I am the
I'm
living
so excited for
embodiment of
that.
Thad Castle.
I am Alex Moran. I don't want to really work hard for what I got.
And I am overblown in my ego. So that's the show so far. So I'm going to bring up the last segment of the show, and that's
Let me do this.
oh, you can do it. You can do
Matt,
it.
what's your agenda?
My agenda is that I wish people would stop sitting back on their pulpits and waiting for some extreme shock scenario in the media to come up to decide that they're going to take a stance on a certain something. If you believe in gay rights, you should just come out and say, I don't give a fuck. You can marry who you want to marry. You have every right to be as miserable as the rest of us. If you're going to be a fucking racist, then you should be a fucking racist and expect the consequences. And you don't have to wait for some stupid shit like Donald Sterling or Michael Sam to come out to make your point of view. You should be out there and upfront with your beliefs right from the beginning.
Craig, what's your agenda?
I don't have one.
Bullshit.
Really? Every single fucking show somebody does that. I told you at the beginning of the show to have a goddamn agenda.
I don't really have one. My last
have, like-
agenda was cancer, and it's still losing. So I really don't have.
No, cancer's winning.
All right, but so you want me to have an agenda?
You need
I'll
this.
have an agenda after Dan.
You can't. You don't have any agenda.
What's your
You're out.
agenda?
I actually have two.
Okay, well then.
Oh,
give Craig
making up
one.
for lost time. You can't talk secretly on a microphone when it's handed to you,
I know,
jackass.
right? Whisper.
I've buried enough members of the Wayne family.
All right. Well, my first one is Flight
Michael
370.
Caine should be president.
Are you still on this Flight 370
It's
thing?
still unresolved. So yes.
Oh my.
Okay.
I blame
God.
aliens.
That's right.
Aliens.
It's still unresolved. So I mean, everyone's come up with their own hypothetical.
Did
reason.
Predator take down the plane?
It could be.
human,
Nobody knows.
human trafficking.
You know that could also be.
What's the other agenda? Enlighten us.
Ukraine. Russia invading Ukraine and no one doing shit
There's a
about
good
it.
agenda. That's
Yeah,
a really good
that's
agenda.
a very good
Nobody's
agenda.
doing shit about it. I mean, come on.
I'm proud of you.
That's because Vladimir Putin rides bareback horses without a shirt and a giant Dragunov sniper rifle.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When it comes to the Crimean Peninsula, they don't do anything there.
Here's the thing.
It's going to cost them $10 billion a year to be able to financially sustain the Crimean Peninsula. So go ahead, Russia. Expand all you want, as long as it starts costing you money.
Here's my question. It's the most important question to deal with the Crimean incident. Okay, what happened to the hot chick?
Which hot chick?
The hot chick that was like their liaison to the government, and that they had paraded out there to announce their issues.
Oh, I missed that bitch.
What happened to her? I want to know what happened to her because she was hot.
Where's Edward Snowden?
All right, my
Agenda.
Craig, what's your agenda?
I'll say that. My minimum agenda is the federal minimum wage raise.
See, why couldn't you do that earlier?
Yeah, I know.
Now,
You had talked about it during the
It
relapse.
hasn't kept pace with the rising costs since the early 1980s. Anyone has an opinion on that?
Yeah, I do. Here's the thing. You're going to have minimal skills. You're going to take a minimal job. You're going to take a part-time schedule. And you expect to make more than most of the hardworking Americans in this world who go out and do automotive repair, AC repair, pest control, and you're going to expect to make the same fucking money as those people, if not the same, more, flipping fucking burgers. You deserve to make $9 an hour. And when
the fact of the matter
here's
is,
the thing, I'm not done yet. Wait. I'm not done yet. And when the automated system comes to take your fucking job, when a fucking machine does your job, you deserve to lose it and go on fucking welfare because you're the jackass who thinks that flipping burgers deserves $15 fucking an hour.
I actually do believe that a machine could assemble a McDouble better than most people can.
They wouldn't get it wrong. At least they get the fucking mustard on the goddamn sandwich.
Humanity counterpoints. Number one is the fact that because everything in costs and everything is rising. Economically, it is rising. The average burger flipper makes $14,500 a year, which is below
That's a bad
poverty line.
goddamn time for the burger flipper to fucking get off their ass and do a real job.
Let me finish. It is below the poverty line of a family of 4. Now get this.
If you have 4 children, why the fuck are you flipping
Now you have to
burgers?
understand this, okay? Now, you have to understand the other fact of the matter is, if everyone wanted to be a doctor, if everyone did their education and everyone flourished, you would have nobody to flip your burger. Nobody would give you the McDouble with only ketchup.
That is incorrect. That is a popular social fallacy.
Raising the minimum wage nationwide would benefit 28 million workers across the country and lift nearly 1 million people out of poverty. Now, minus your own agenda, that would be great for our country.
Here's where it's not great for our country, because when you raise the minimum wage for a burger flipper to $15 an hour, you drive all skilled professions down below the poverty line, and you have to increase the adjusted wage of all other
Think about
things.
this. If you get that computer that makes everyone order shit and everything gets made for them and shit, and they don't have waiters and shit like that, you're still paying taxes to the same degree in equal amounts for a machine.
You do not have to pay the markup of $7 an hour. No, you do not. You do not have to pay the markup of $7 an hour for a person that flips a fucking hamburger.
Wait a minute. Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Say Craig.
No, you do not.
Wait, guys. Okay. Say, Craig, you work at McDonald's, you make $7 an hour. I do air conditioning, I make $14 an hour. Mm-hmm. Say the federal minimum wage gets bumped up and it's $14 an hour. My job has to raise my wages, otherwise my specialization isn't any better than yours.
So that education and
my
skill.
cost goes
The
up to
downside to that is
$21 an hour.
socialism, and I'm not for socialism. I'm
That is exactly what you do when you raise the minimum wage to $15 fucking an hour.
But the fact of the matter is that we've gotten so far ahead of ourselves that raising the minimum wage is basically saying this, or 23 million people are poor in poverty.
I'm going to ask a very important question right now. What is your skill?
My skill is music. I'm a musician.
Okay.
It's my only.
Dan, what's your skill?
Automotive.
What do you get paid?
Whatever his dad wants to.
Yeah, pretty much.
I do pest control, which is a very big skill, which involves entomology, the study of insects, and also the control of chemistry and chemicals. And I make somewhere around $33,000 a year. Cameron, what do you do?
Air conditioning.
And how much do you make?
$17 an hour, roughly $40,000 a year.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So you're taking these skilled positions, which involved education, which involved time spent, and involved the ability to go out there and perform your job at an accelerated level, and you're telling me that flipping a fucking hamburger deserves to make as much as we do.
I don't, but I do agree that it needs to be raised for the poverty line.
If you raise it for the poverty line, then you have to raise everything else as well.
I agree,
And it doesn't
and that's
do
what
anything.
America has put themselves in the situation for. They put themselves in that situation.
Okay, I'm agreeing with both of you in a case. Yes, do people who work at McDonald's, should they make a whole lot more money because of...
If they can get my fucking McDouble right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but when it comes to food costs...
We're talking economically.
No, I'm talking about
nationwide. You're sitting there going, my fucking McDouble. That's
I'm not.
sorry,
I'm saying that
when McDonald's is bringing
Ignorance is
$15 billion
it's not
a year
ignorance.
in...
What's ignorant is thinking that somebody who has an unskilled labor job deserves to make the same amount of money as an educated, licensed professional. That's fucking ignorant.
You're telling me
You can't argue with that. That is fucking ignorant. You're calling me ignorant, and I'm sitting here telling you that it is stupid to think that somebody who has an unskilled labor profession deserves to make as much money as a person who has education and skill based in their job profession, and that you think that raising the minimum wage to an obscure number is going to help our economy. It will not. It will only make it harder for the people who make living wages based on skill and profession. It'll make it nearly impossible for us to survive.
You've obviously never taken an economics class.
You've obviously never worked a real fucking job.
I have.
You've never had to support an entire family. And that's the fucking difference.
Neither of you.
Yes, I have.
Where are they?
I have a kid and an ex-wife, and I still support them based on my fucking job. That's the difference.
Okay, guys.
You need to get into the real world. The real world says you cannot pay somebody $15 fucking an hour to flip a goddamn
I'm not saying $15 an hour.
fucking
You're missing my argument. I'm not saying $15 an hour.
I'm not missing your argument. I'm saying it's fucking stupid.
It should be raised.
Even if it's just raising it to 9.
Exactly.
That's a thing.
It is $9 an hour if you're a fucking manager and you worked your way up through the fucking McDonald's fold. And then you have the opportunity to make $45,000 a year running a goddamn store.
I'm sorry,
which is the way
You're
the
telling me
economy
they should
works.
live poor because they're living a
You should get a second job, and you shouldn't have a job flipping fucking hamburgers and get 4 kids
I'm
to feed.
sorry.
You were just looking for a job. How easy was it?
I found it in 2 weeks.
Working at
Because of your
McDonald's.
specific profession.
Yeah, because I have the education and I have the skill level to back up what I say.
Working
Without
at
the education,
McDonald's.
everyone else should sit and shit.
Yes.
Okay, wait.
Wow.
Wait. Okay, working at McDonald's should be a job.
Initiative.
Working at
Drives our
McDonald's should
economy.
just be a job that's reserved for those from the ages of 15 to 20. You know,
Yes.
from kids that are in high school to kids that are a
Can I
year
say
or two
something
into
real quick?
college.
Before you finish
This is
that
going to be
statement,
absolutely fucking stupid.
now, the raising the minimum wage nationwide would benefit 28 million workers across the country and lift nearly 1 million people out of poverty. These aren't just teenagers on their first
And
job.
what does anything besides
The average
Huffington
age
Post
of
say?
these workers is 35 years and under.
What does anything besides Huffington Post say?
And here's the thing.
It's not Huffington Post.
And here's the thing, though.
That is not a real demographic because you're talking about raising 1 million people above
It is
that.
the government
You have to
website.
raise the fucking cost of everything based on that.
We should have probably skipped his agenda.
We should have.
I agree we should have. The reason I didn't want to say one is because I knew I was just going to be bashed and wrong.
And you were. So, Cameron, what's your agenda?
What's your agenda, Cameron? Because who gives a shit about everyone else's?
I'm mad that Community got canceled. I was hoping for 6 seasons in a movie. I got 5 seasons and an underwhelming finale. And with that...
Wait. You're missing something.
Oh, I know. And with that, if you're not down with Media Rehab, I've got 2 words for you.
Suck it!
Thank you for missing your cue, Billy Gunn. Suck it!